What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pin the Gas podcast on this beautiful, Thursday evening or morning time, depending
Thursday, I
on where
think.
you at. Right? Depending on where you guys are at in the world. It's always an honor to have everybody join in on this podcast. I appreciate every single one of you guys and girls. Without you and Jack and everybody else, I would not be able to do this. And nothing but love. I wish I could. I might be able to make a heart emoji for y'all. There we go. My reaction's not working right now, but I will fix that, right? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honor today to sit down with my friend and the legend, Jack Beaudry. Did I say that right?
Beaudry.
Beaudry. I messed it up. And you just told me too, right? Anyway, man, listen, it's an honor to have you on, Jack.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this.
Me too, my friend. Me too. And we have a lot to talk about, so I just want to jump into it head deep, right? Tell me where your journey began on two wheels.
Well, motorcycles have always been a part of my life since I can remember. Like, I started riding when I was 3 in a PW50. I'm not sure if you know the story, but my first ever time riding that thing, I rode it into the river. My dad had to fish it out.
Yeah, me and him had a conversation for about 30 or 40 minutes last night. So yeah, he told me a lot. I actually took some notes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, then we moved to a different house, and I had a little lot, like empty lot beside it. So we rode my little CRF 50 in that lot for years and years until someone put a sign that said I can't ride there anymore. so then after that, so the winters here are obviously brutal. So we discovered the little car track speed road, and there's a club that rides mini bikes there. So put scooter tires on my CRF 50, took it to the track, and that was kind of what got me into racing, really.
I love it, man. What I love about our sport the most, and I say it all the time, is where it starts, the grassroots of racing, right? The father, the son, the father, the daughter, the parking lots, the little trails out in the woods or a little motocross track or whatever it is. It's such a beautiful story. And at the beginning of every journey, when it comes to two wheels, everybody's story's different, right? But it's at the beginning of it, you don't realize how much it's going to change your life, right? And make you who you are today. And it's an absolute awesome journey, man. I love it. I love all of them.
Then after that, I got a KLX 110, started ripping it around in parking lots. I think there's some old videos from like 2017 or 18 on my Instagram of me just ripping the KLX 110 in the parking lot, dragging knee.
Love it.
And then summer 2018, we took that same KLX 110 to the Prairie Sport Riders Association in Regina. They have a pretty nice car track there. So I started riding there. I got pretty fast, and I got a ton of laps there. And then I had my first like real race in there, just a regional race. I ended up doing pretty well in that. And then at the end of that season, I was at a Canadian National, another track in Saskatchewan called Martinsville. It's just outside Saskatoon. And that's where I took my first win in the intermediate class in the KLX 110.
And that's what sparked it, right there.
That's when I knew. Yeah, this is my thing. Yeah, then
I love it.
The year after that, we picked up an NSR 50. Then we picked up a different KLX 10, a bit newer one, as a 2018. We did like a KTM 50 front end. It's like 143 big bore kit, race head. Got used to that thing pretty fast, and I was pretty quick on it. And then took a bunch of podiums on it around Canada.
I love it, man. I love it. And you said this earlier, it's super cold out there where you guys are. Fortunately, I don't get that cold here in Virginia. We get cold, Canada cold, right?
Yeah.
Never been on a snowmobile. Something I always wanted to do. I'm sure those are a lot of fun to ride too. Yeah, I bet.
My favorite thing about snowmobiles is they're the only thing I can really wheelie.
Really?
Yeah. I can kind of wheelie a bike, but I'm pretty decent at snowmobile wheelies. And they're pretty easy. Just lay back. Yeah. Especially if you're on an 850.
Listen, Jack, are those thumb gas or are they?
Yeah, they're thumb gas with the quad.
Yeah. Listen, you just practice makes perfect, right? You will absolutely get there for sure.
My house backs onto a field, so I would just rip around in snowmobiles there. I think a couple of years ago, I hit 130 mile an hour in that field in the snowmobile.
Holy cow! That thing was scoot.
Yeah, it was a little scary. It was pretty sketchy. It was on the trail.
What's it like balling in the snow?
Well, it's pretty awesome. It's nicer when it's like, what?
Is it like dirt where it's just always moving all the time, or is
A
it
little bit. It's kind of its own thing, honestly. I think I've never ridden a jet ski before, but that's probably what you can most compare it to.
so jet skis they're a lot of fun. Sit down and
Yeah,
stand up ones are they're different, right? The stand up one you got to pull yourself up on, and after you
yeah,
crashed your brains out probably 10, 15 times, I'm absolutely wore out. So I'm just riding it back like this, like okay, I'm done, right? The sit up
yeah,
ones are fun, but I don't recommend bailing out going 60 miles an hour on a jet ski. It hurts.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think, yeah, and then 20. tw- I'm trying to read the paper here.
No, you're good, bro.
Yeah, so then the summer after I rode that built KLX 110, we decided we were gonna. That was the 2019 year, so we decided we were gonna do a motard build. So that was my first like bigger bike. It was a KX100. So we put 17-inch wheels on it, and then we were planning on doing all the national races with it. But then 2020 came, all the COVID shit happened. So, but got a ton of track time on it, probably 30 weekends, maybe not that much, but that's what it felt like.
All the time riding, right? And that was
Got,
a go ahead,
got
Jack.
what?
Would you say you got super quick on it?
Yeah, I got pretty quick on it. I love the bike. It was fun. It was like my first two-stroker. Yeah, my first two-stroke that I raced. So I love that bike. And then the year after that, oh, wait. Yeah, so the year after that, we rode that an RS-25 Honda on the big track. That was the 2021 year was my first introduction to big bikes. So had an RS-25, rode the shit out of it. The what got the whole thing started. So the Manitoba Road Racing Association, you had to the original rule was you had to be 16 to ride there, but we signed up for the track day at the end of the year 2020 with that RS-25 when I was 14. But they obviously didn't let me in because that's what the rule said. No one was against it or anything, but it got the conversation started, and sure enough, they got the rule changed to 14. So, and towards the end of that year, at the last round of that year, it was track day and race. All the weekends track day and race. So I was doing track day. Last session of the day, blew the rod bearing. So brought the bike home, rebuilt the motor. My dad rebuilt the motor. I went straight to bed because I knew I was going to race the next day because they were going to let me. So got to the track. I don't know what time, probably like 7 or 8. And then in the first race, finished second. And then the second race, I became the youngest winner in the history of the MRA.
I love it. I love it. Legend.
Yeah. And the year after that, there was this new series called the North American Talent Cup. And yeah, there's this new series called the North American Talent Cup. And we didn't think too much of it. My dad had quietly sent in my application for it. We didn't think we'd be even considered, but sure enough, I got it. They accepted me into it. So we kind of had a family meeting like, hey, we got accepted into this. You want to do it? Want to go to Coda? Like, I don't think no is an answer to that question. So yes.
Yes, absolutely yes.
Yeah. So, and then we all had also built for that year like an 04 CBR 600 F4i, very basic race bike build just to get some seat time on a 600, a faster, heavier bike. So I rode that bike a bit that year, but obviously the main focus of the North American Talent Cup, like Coda, amazing experience. But before the weekend, we went to Coda. We went to Arizona. We were originally going to have the 250, like the Aprilia 250 shipped to that track, but they said the bike was going to be shipped directly to Coda. So we ended up taking that 600 F4i to the track in Arizona, rode there the weekend before.
Where in Arizona did you ride?
It was Arizona Motorsport Park.
Yeah. Yeah. Real quick, man. How was the RS-125?
Oh, still probably my favorite bike to race. I love that thing.
Do you still got it?
No, unfortunately not. That's one that that and the KX100 are two bikes that I really wish you hung on to.
That's all right. One day you can always get them back, right?
Oh, I'm gonna someday next couple years, I want to build a little mini bike.
Dude, mini bikes are the best. I'm a huge advocate of mini bikes. I think they're awesome.
Then
So much fun.
Yeah, weekend after that, went to Coda. That was Coda's only the third track I've ever ridden. Went straight from Gimli to Coda.
Whoa.
So first track I've ridden with elevation. There's MotoGP riders watching.
Was you nervous?
I was so nervous that I could barely really remember before the race.
I bet you probably had to say, just remember to breathe. I gotta breathe.
That's exactly what I was doing. Like I had my sunglasses on, headphones. I think I had my headphones on, just eyes closed, just living in the moment. Like I'm about to race at Coda in front of 100,000 or so people.
Bro, what an experience, right? So, real quick, let's talk about Coda for a minute, man. You know, you talk about it was an amazing experience, right? But how was the track? Your first initial lap on the track?
First initial lap on the track, I was just thinking, like, holy shit, it's so much bigger than Gimli. First ever track I've ridden with elevation too, so that took a while to get used to. But got second session, I got a little bit faster. Still had to make some time. Obviously, I wasn't the fastest guy there, but went straight from Gimli to Coda.
Tell everybody what Gimli is compared to Coda.
So Gimli is our home track in Manitoba. It was never intended for like professional racing like Gimli is. Like it's a club racing track essentially. It's designed on an old part of the track. The front straight is actually on an old runway. Have you ever heard of the Gimli glider?
I have not.
So story is a plane ran out of gas because it was right when Canada was switching from imperial to the metric system. So they measured it in imperial instead of metric, and they were supposed to go to Edmonton, but they ran out of gas halfway, so they had to divert and do an emergency landing at Gimli Motorsport Park.
I love it.
Because the pilot did his pilot training at that airport when it was an airport.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Second Talent Cup round was a little more laid back. It was at High Plains Raceway. That was the name of the track. So my results still weren't great, but I had a lot of fun. I had people to race with, and I learned a lot. And right, the third round was at Ridge. It was my first ever Moto America round. Got used to the track really fast. It was fifth in the first practice, but sadly had a giant high side in the second practice. Kind of didn't ruin my whole weekend, but I was pretty banged up.
How do you handle crashes, Jack? How do you mentally overcome that hurdle when you have a crash?
I just crashed. It happened. What did I do? What can I do to not do that again?
I love it. It's always the understanding of why I crashed. It helps you progress even further, right? Sure. Instead of I have no idea why I crashed, right? You gotta find out why you crashed and understand why you did it.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, absolutely. Good answer, Jack. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that year we still rode. We rode around. We rode at the Gimli track on that 600 F4I and did some pretty good lap times on it. And actually, that year, so I went to the last ever track day of the Brainerd Donnybrook course. So,
how was that?
Scary.
A lot of walls.
I was on that F4I, so I was going pretty fast in the straight. And then there's guys in super bikes that are blowing by me at like 190 mile an hour. Like I thought I was going fast, and the guys at super bikes are like,
you're like, I got a lot to work on.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we've all been there, right? I mean, 100%. It's called the humble pie. Big old, not a slice, but the whole pie one time. Just
yeah, for sure. Then I rode it after pit race. So the pit race wasn't the greatest weekend for me. Kind of went backwards the whole weekend. The last race I did a little bit better, and then Road Atlanta was where I really broke through, where I kind of shook off that Ridge crash. I was fifth. Because throughout the whole year I was pretty fast in the first practice because we discovered that I could learn a track pretty fast. So I was fifth in the first practice at Road Atlanta. I was feeling pretty good, but I knew everyone else was going to get faster too. So pushed harder in the second practice session, and was finished third, which was a huge confidence booster for me. Qualified seventh, I believe, because the whole weekend is overcast, so I just wanted to get as many laps in as I could. And then the race came, finished P5, which was a huge surprise because I went from being the last place kid to being in the top 5, so that was what boosted my confidence. That's kind of when I realized I shook off the ridge crash and I was actually decently fast. And then finished seventh in the next race. It was awesome.
Yeah, right. It's like the weight of the world just come off your shoulders. You're like, yes, I can do it.
The night after the practice sessions where I finished third, then got a big steak to celebrate. Obviously, it wasn't a race, so we were still like pretty locked in, but
medium rare. I hope
we knew we had a feeling it was going to be a good weekend.
Oh, that proper mega weekend, right? 110%. Yeah, I love it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, then, go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, and then the next weekend at Barber, we were pretty fast, but luck wasn't really on our side that weekend. We qualified 9th, which we were pretty happy about. I did good in the practice sessions too, but fortunately blew the head gasket in the first race, or didn't really blow it, but had to pull off, or else catastrophic engine failure would have happened probably. So replaced the motor overnight, and then in race 2, battling with a bunch of guys, and me and another guy were fighting for the same piece of track, and we ended up taking each other out.
It happens.
It's racing.
It is what it is. It's part of the game we play. I've been there. I've done that. I've taken people out, and people's taken me out. Right? It's
exactly
part of the game.
So you could take you out. You could take someone out. You could take yourself out.
It's that simple, and that's a fact.
Yeah.
Bro, that's awesome, man. Let's the Talent Cup, man. What did you think about the Talent Cup?
Oh, it was awesome. Like, I was racing against the fastest guys in the fastest people my age in North America, really. So it was kind of just the whole experience for me. And it was kind of a heartbreak the next year because the series got canceled. But our plan B was we rode most of the CSBK series on my Ninja 400 because at the start of 2023, around this time of year, 2023, we picked up this pretty nice Ninja 400 in California. So went down, picked up the bike in California, drove down to Arizona. And then I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Breakthrough Track Time.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a track day organization in Arizona. They've helped us out in the past. And they were doing a track day at the new Podium Club track, so we decided to go there. With the new Ninja 400. I was pretty comfortable on the bike from the get-go. We just rode it with the new Dunlops, with the old Dunlops that were on it, just to get used to the bike. And then the next day, we switched to the CSBK spec Bridgestones, which took a bit getting used to. They had grooves, so it took a little bit to get used to it, just getting set up with tire pressures and all that, seeing what worked best for me. We eventually figured it out, and I was pretty comfortable on them.
What was the feeling between the Dunlop and the Bridgestones for you?
I wouldn't say anything's better or worse, but it was definitely different. Like, it took some getting used to.
Did it fall into the corner quicker than the Dunlop, do you feel? Naturally?
I didn't really notice, honestly.
So let me ask you this, Jack. How did you and Bison all come together? How did that relationship start?
Bison supplied suits for the North American Talent Cup in 2022, and we had a Bison suit. The first one we had to do some adjustments to, but eventually we got the suit to fit pretty well, and I loved it. I still have the suit. It's actually that suit right there.
I love it. Yeah, my Bison suit's right here.
Yeah. Fortunately, it doesn't really fit me anymore, but it's still pretty cool to have the suit. These are all the Bison suits I've had back here, actually.
I love it. Where's your newest one at?
This one's the newest one.
I love it.
And then that's the grad suit, my grad special.
I love it, man. I love it. I love Bison, man. Speaking of Bison, real quick, everybody, it's 2025. Get you a custom suit. Go to bisontrack.com. I tell everybody that all the time. Robert and Tosh, Carter and Edith are the most amazing people you're going to meet absolutely in the world. And yeah, I can't talk enough about bison. I talk about them all the time. Matter of fact, every time I step up my house, I got my bison hat on, or that's where I get all my shirts, bison, my suits, all that good stuff. So go to bisontrack.com, people. You need a full custom suit. Yes, I'm talking to you, everybody listening. Treat yourself, love yourself. Get rid of that off the shelf suit. Get you a bison suit. Full customized suit makes a world of a difference. Jack, tell them what a big difference it makes.
Yeah, I never realized how big of a difference it would make until I use a custom suit, because I never had like terrible luck with off-the-rack suits. They always fit me pretty well, but I didn't realize how much better a properly fitting suit, like a custom bison suit, would fit me.
100%, man. Again, you don't notice it until you put it on. You actually ride in it, and you're like, "Holy shit! This makes like it's night and day difference. It really is."
Yeah.
So, bisontrack.com, people.
Yeah, and then
Anyway, I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, start of 2023. After riding that 400 in Arizona, about a month after that was the first Brainerd CRA round, which was my first ever time riding with the CRA in Brainerd. Amazing club, but the weather at the first round sucked that weekend. It was like okay Friday. Saturday it was cold and rainy. Got some good time in the rain though. And then Sunday was okay. So that was fun. And then a couple weeks after was the first CSBK round. So Friday went really well. Qualified pole. But in the race, or on the Saturday, it poured rain all day, or not really all day, but it was raining all day, and ended up taking myself out the first race of the day, and then the second race of the day. After the crash, there was water in my airbox, and my bike wasn't running well. But
yeah, it happens.
Yeah, but the next day was pretty good. I finished second. I with the fastest lap in the race, and then fourth in the second race, I believe.
I love it. This thing about even track days, it always don't go to plan, right? Racing especially. You have your good days, your bad days, but again, that's part of the game, and you learn from all your experiences. That makes you a whole rider. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
How is CSBK versus Moto America? Speaking of not the competition, because everybody out there is proper mega fast, right? We're all the same, no matter if you're in Japan, Australia, wherever you are in the world. We all have the same beautiful circus. We're all friends. We're all family. Competition is the same, right? But the tracks is what the standout stars, I would say. So
yeah,
the
for
difference
Moto America,
yeah.
Yeah, Moto America, there's definitely a lot of money involved. CSBK is honestly kind of its own thing. Like, there's more competition than any club racing, but it's not like Moto America.
Growing up, Jack, who was your favorite racers from Canada? Did you have any?
I didn't really even know any racers from Canada except Miguel de Hamel.
Steve Crevier?
Steve Crevier, yeah. I've met him actually 2023. Yeah, 2023 I met him.
Yeah, your dad was telling me. That's awesome. Steve, I met Steve obviously back in AMA before it was Moto America, right? It was AMA, DMG, now Moto America. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of matter of fact, dude, number 17, where my finger at? There it is. Miguel Duhamel right there, signed poster. I got back in AMA days right there. He's on the RC45 in this picture.
Yeah.
Love it, dude. He was his dad was super fast too, so we can't I think his dad's first name was Mario, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure.
Yvonne. Sorry.
Yvonne, yeah.
Yvonne. I had to think about it for a minute. I'm like, shit, I'm taking it back. Let me think about this for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. Then second CSBK round came around that year. It was at Grand Bend. We were feeling like okay on the bike, other than the fact that we were having pretty weird transmission issues the whole weekend. Just same thing with anyone else on 400 that weekend. But what we ended up doing that weekend is just gearing the bike super tall. So I was only using like third and fourth gear, and it ended up working pretty well. It was
a lot less gear shifts too.
Yeah, finished third. So
I love it, man. I love it, and that was 2023, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
What did
then
you say?
I said, well, was that pretty much the whole sum of 2023 season right there?
No, not really. There's a few more races. We skipped the CSBK round in Nova Scotia because it's
Oh, what
like
a track!
4,000 kilometers from where I live.
Have you ever been
So,
there?
no, I'd like to someday, but
Yeah, I heard it's beautiful.
really far to drive from here. Like, so just to put it in perspective, from where I live in Lorette, middle of Manitoba, Shuby in Nova Scotia is the furthest track away from me than any other track in North America. Like any track in Florida's closer, any track in California is closer. That's the Shuby in Nova Scotia and in Canada is the furthest track away from me.
That's a hike.
Yeah.
That is a hike.
And then, but then we went to Mo Sport, the CSBK round in Mo Sport, which absolutely love that track. Probably the hilliest track I've ever ridden. And it was on my 400 that weekend. Ended up doing pretty well too. It was third and second in the amateur lightweight races, so that was pretty fun.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it every time you say I got second, third, and first. How much fun it was, and now you don't ever say nothing. Well, I had fourth and I was 10th. I did decent. Like every time you're on the podium, like,
yeah.
bro, that was so much
But
fun.
that race at Mo Sport, where I finished second, has got to be like it might even still be today the most fun race in my life.
I love
Like
it.
it was just the three of us drafting each other. I was playing it what I if you've never been to Mo Sport, drafting is huge there. So I was kind of staying behind the pack because I didn't want to get drafted. So, but last race, I drafted both of them, and we were all like side by side, and I ended up finishing second, like a few, probably I don't even know. It was less than I think it was less than a tenth behind the leader.
What a race.
Oh, it was awesome.
What a feeling, right? It's almost like when you're in that situation, time slows so down, right? Everything just happens in like slow motion, and then it's over with. It's like that was
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah. Then after that, we finished up our first Brainerd year. Took a lot of third and seconds that year, a few firsts too. Ended up taking the ultralight championship that year, which I was pretty excited about.
Damn right.
So
Who
then,
wouldn't be?
what?
I said, damn right. Who wouldn't be? A championship? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. And then last year, 2024, we weren't exactly sure what we wanted to do. We knew we wanted to do a bigger bike, so we found this crashed R7. So bought that in the December 2023 and turned that into a race bike. I absolutely love that bike. And first Brainerd round came in, we won in the classes we thought we could win in, and then we realized that we could fight for the championship. So so the first round after that came the second round. We decided that year we were going to go for the overall championship, which was no easy task. We ended up running 18 races that year, or that weekend.
Junior MotoGP championship right there. 18 races.
Yeah, did that all in one weekend. But back to the first round, actually, something I should have mentioned. So I snapped a chain for the first ever time on the Friday the first weekend. Like,
You're probably thinking to yourself, what is going on with my bike?
yeah, I found the rev limiter, definitely.
A lot. You're like, what? Wait a minute, there's something wrong.
Yeah. And what made it super tough to win the championship that year was just the CRA point structure, the way it's designed. It makes it really hard to pull away, even with a thin lead over your closest competitor. So me and Jamie Hansen, I'm not sure you know who he is, but we were neck and neck all year. We were like, I wouldn't say we were the greatest of friends during the races, and obviously now we're pretty good buddies. He's a great guy. I think he's doing Bigger Racing League too. He was that year. So
How
that
do
was a
you?
pretty fun year.
Let me ask you this, Jack. How do
Yeah.
you, being friends with people in the paddock versus when the race helmet goes on? How do you make that transition?
Gloves are off during the race.
I want to crush those dreams.
If
Love it.
in a race you're not my friend, and off the track we can do whatever, but in the race you're not my friend.
You're done.
Yeah,
I
and
love it.
then so yeah, the third round that year we just maintained. It was a single sprint weekend. They do single sprint and double sprint weekends. There's a single sprint weekend, so we just maintained that weekend. And then the fourth round, but then after that, we realized we couldn't run our RS7 in the heavyweight class because as a novice in the CRA, you can't bump up 2 classes. So, but we discovered that round runs in conjunction with a class called 90 Scout for like old 9600s. But since I wasn't 18 yet, we couldn't ride a 600. But then that's when we looked at more closely at the rule book and realized you could run a few older 600s. So we picked up the CBR 600 F3 over there.
I love it. I love it.
And rode it in the 90s Cup at the 4th round. And I ran 30 races that weekend.
Bro, that's
I could
tired.
barely look after it. Yeah.
I was going to say, wow.
Very successful weekend for me.
Slept for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. How do you like the F3?
Oh, I love it. It's awesome bike.
It is.
We found it in like Toronto or something. I'm not even sure, somewhere in Southern Ontario, but it's got full Olins.
Nice.
On a 98 CBR 600 F3.
I love it. I had a 94 F2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was a great bike. I love that bike. It was one of my favorite race bikes I ever had. It was just so easy to ride, so easy to go fast, so easy to confidence inspiring for sure. Wasn't crazy over the top where you was scared of it or anything. You can just grip it and rip it and just smiles for miles.
My favorite part of that bike is just it's so good. It's just easy to ride.
Yeah, easy to ride. Absolutely. As soon as I got on it and I did 2 laps, I was like, bro, why can't all bikes feel like this?
Yeah.
I love it.
And then the next round, so CR8 is a 5-hour every year. Ran it in 2023. It was me and my buddy Vincent Wilson from CSBK. Awesome dude. Been friends with him since I raced in CSBK.
I love it, man.
He's over at my house here a couple times.
I love it, Jack. How you say all these guys you compete with are your friends, man. It's a beautiful thing. Not a lot of racers out there, especially really competitive, can be friends with. They could be nice and civil, but they never call them their friends, right? Like Glenn Irvin and Tommy Birdwell, right? They'll never call each other friends, right? So. It even goes down to the club level, but it just goes to show of who you are as a person, which is absolutely proper mega.
Yeah. So B and my buddy Vincent Wilson from CSBK, we ran the 5-hour in 2023, my Ninja 400. We weren't exactly the fastest guys there, but we were less than a minute in the pits doing tire changes. So we decided to run it again in the 5-hour in 2024, and we ran it on that F3. It was me, him, Jordan Emery, Austin Isfeld. 2 of the guys we know from around here that ride a Brainerd that have helped us out before.
I love it, man. I'm a big fan of endurance racing. I think that's the best bang for your buck. And on top of that, Jack, just real quick point, endurance racing, you have one bike, 2 or 3 riders. My style is different than your styles. I weigh more than you weigh, right? I like my clip-ons in certain positions, my rear sets, all that. But on an endurance bikes, you find this happy medium that everybody likes, right? So you learn to ride this bike that you're kind of uncomfortable with, let's just be honest, but you learn how to ride it fast. So you naturally change your body position and the way you ride it, the way you throw it in a corner, the way you brake, the way you get on the gas, right? But that also makes you a better rider, and you don't realize it, right?
Yeah. The race got harder and harder as it continued because we ran 1 set of tires the entire race, and it's showing course to the end. I did the last stint, and I almost high-sided myself to the moon in turn 1, probably 5 times. This tire was showing cords.
What a lot of fun spinning it up all the time, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And now we're here building. Not sure if you saw this bike over here, but this is actually. It might look like an R6 like this, but if you look a little closer, it's not an R6 motor.
You got a special one right there.
Yeah, we took the motor from my R7, did it up a little bit, and threw it in an R6 chassis.
I love it. Was that a direct bolt up?
No, we had to figure something out for brackets.
Yeah, dude, awesome. So this is 2025. This is what you're racing in 2025.
I'm going to be racing this R6 R7 hybrid. I don't know what you want to call it.
I love it.
And then we're going to be racing that F3. And I have a couple other bikes. I have an older R6 and 07, and then the other CBR 600 that we're going to do a basic race build on it at some point. But that's in the future. The main focus is going to be this R6 R7 bike.
She's a beauty.
Yeah.
Even though she's naked and ain't got no clothes on, she's an absolute beauty.
Yeah. Well, the clothes are right here.
I love it. Look at that. Dude, she's going to be awesome. You got a color scheme picked out?
Was that?
You got a color scheme picked out?
Not really, but we'll figure something out. We're going to paint it white this year. Since my last couple bikes have been black.
And this is so 2025 CSBK.
Yeah. Oh no, not CSBK. We're doing the Brainerd series.
Okay.
CRA.
Yeah, CRA. Yeah. Dude, awesome, Jack. And so this year in 2025, going into the season, do you have any expectations on yourself?
I'm hoping to get used to this bike pretty fast. We're gonna try out a few different tracks this year. We're doing so since we have that F3 and I can ride an Arma, we're going to do a couple Arma races. There's one in Hastings and there's one in Blackhawk Farms in Illinois. And if you do those two, this is going to qualify us for the finale at Barber. So, and they also have a few classes that this bike is going to be legal in. So we're going to run this one and that F3 and then hopefully do the round at Barber.
Dude, I love it, man. I love it, Jack. You know, your whole story is a absolutely proper, mega beautiful story. Everybody's journey is beautiful and unique in its own way. And, you know, you have a lot of experience on vast variety of motorcycles, which also helps you along your journey, right? I'm excited to sit back down with you in a couple months' time and talk about, you know, all the race wins you already gathered in 2025. It's absolutely amazing. You've been with Bison for 4 years now?
Yeah, since 2022. So yeah, I think it's my 4th year.
Yeah, that's amazing, right? You got amazing backing and you know this R6 R7 hybrid bike you got behind you.
I can't wait to ride this thing.
I was gonna say, dude, it sounds like it's a proper weapon. Both of them are a proper weapon anyway, right? But the R6. Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you this. Yeah. Compare the R7 chassis, because you raced one of those versus the R6 chassis. Obviously, you like the R6 chassis better.
Yeah, I've never actually raced an R6.
Okay.
But the R7, I absolutely love that bike, but I've never ridden a chassis like this. So
you're gonna love it.
Never ridden an R6 chassis. So that's it. So I'm gonna.
Dude, dude, it's like riding a bicycle, Jack. As soon as you get on it, you know, it's like. I consider motorcycles like women, right? So you dance, every woman you dance with, they have their own unique style to them, right? You approach them in a different way, you handle them in a different way, you touch them in a different way, you ride them in a different way. But you will absolutely love the R6 chassis and the R7 motor, and it's going to be freaking absolutely amazing. I think you're going to.
Yeah, this is going to be.
It's going to be proper.
I'm going to be honest right now. This is probably going to end up being my favorite bike I'll ever race.
Time will tell, but I think you're going to be absolutely right. But the F3 is going to be second, though, for sure, 110%.
Oh, I love that thing.
I love it, dude.
It's so easy to ride. I love it.
I honestly, I wish I still had mine. That in my, I had a 96 ZX6R I really liked too. The 6R to me, I don't think the chassis was as good as the F2, but man, the thing made some power, right? It had the low end, the bottom end, the mid range. It was a nice bike. Are I want to get to a couple comments real quick. I got a buddy of mine, Royce Davis, says, if you were to choose your favorite bike, which one would you choose, Jack?
RSM 25.
All day.
Two-stroke GP bike. The thing only weighed like 140 pounds too, and I was like 130 pounds.
Power to weight, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
It had pretty good brakes on it, but I didn't use them.
It's a two-stroke. You don't need them.
No.
I love it.
Brakes only slow you down.
They do, but you still got to slow down a little bit to make the corner and the apex and all that. But yes, you're right, 110%. A good buddy of mine, Jason Doss, he's a racer out here too. He says stand-up jet skis learn to drink 1% of lake water, and that's absolute fact. I drank a lot of lake water, crashing on jet skis. Really,
I've drank lake water before. Lake Winnipeg water doesn't taste good.
I don't think any lake water tastes good, Jack. It's like, oh God, what I just drank. Matt Grunt, thank you for tuning in, man. He says, asking for a friend. When are you going to stop showing up at Gilmy and destroying a guy's chance at a 600 championship? Like I said, clearly asking for a friend.
Maybe this year. I don't know. I want to ride Gimli at some point this year because it just got repaved.
That's going to be. Was it a bumpy track before?
Yeah, it was bumpy. They haven't. I think the last time it got paved was in the 70s before.
I mean, that's a pretty long time for sure.
So there was some pretty big bumps. So they repaved it last winter. Or last fall, not last winter. So looking forward to that.
And then a good buddy of mine, Andrew Davis, his son Royce was up there. Here's the first question. Andrew says, what is up, guys? What is up, Andrew? You, baby, you. Dude, Jack, this is awesome, man. 2025 is going to be a proper mega year for you. Your future is super bright. And I always tell all my friends this racing, wherever they're at in the world, whatever envision and goals you set for yourself racing in your career, man, I hope you achieve those 8 times over. And I am an absolute 100% diehard fan, and can't wait to see your whole journey. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
I can't wait.
Let's see. We got Clive. What is up, Clive? He says, how fast you're going to go around the Glimmy track this season?
I want to do a 59 this year.
I've never been there. I don't know what the lap times are, but 59 sounds like you're scooted. So that's a par. Is that 1 minute 59 or 59 flat?
59 flat.
Small track then.
No, not that big at all.
Yeah. Jamie Hansen. What is up, Jamie? Says he don't even need safety gear because he never crashes.
Yeah, my only crash was in the CSBK round last year.
So you're not a crasher?
No, not anymore. I was, but yeah, last season at Beaudry, I just decided I'm gonna put my head down and just walk in. So
I don't blame you. Nobody will ever forget the first time you drug a knee and the first time you had your big crash. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What just happened?
That year I ended up entering 83 races. I didn't crash in any of them. 65 wins, 53 podiums. 65 podiums, 53 wins.
Legend. Again, like I said at the beginning, an absolute legend. You sound like my buddy Max Flinders. He come from the UK and he won like 65 races in a year, whatever it was. And I was like, holy shit, dude. Like you're crushing everybody's dream that season. It's exactly what you're doing, man. You're showing up and just like, nope, this is my dream. It's not yours.
Yeah, this is my dream as a little 12-year-old.
Right. I love it, man. You got to have that competitive side to you, and but also what I love about you too is you're real good at splitting down the middle. I'm a competitor. When we get on the track, I'm taking your dream. As soon as the weekend's over, yeah, let's go out and have a barbecue, eat some burger or whatever, right? It's awesome. Some people can't do that. Seriously, a lot of people can't do that. Can't turn that off and turn it on. I was always like that. But I'm an outgoing, friendly guy. I'll talk to anybody. It don't matter. Like I always say, Jack, none of us are strangers with the things that haven't met yet,
Yeah.
So then we got Jacob Abnett. What is up, Jacob? He says, what's your favorite track you've ever ridden?
Probably Barber or Road Atlanta.
I love Road Atlanta. I've never ridden Road Atlanta, but I've been there a couple times, and it's an absolute amazing racetrack. That in Road America. Road America is.
I want to ride Road America. It's not even that
Bro,
far from where I live. It's like good 13, 14 hours, I think.
he said, he says it's not that far from where I live. It's 14 hours. Well, honestly, you know what? To be honest with you, that's 14-hour drive for me from here in Roanoke, Virginia.
Yeah.
So it's the
The
same.
nice part about where I live is I'm kind of in the center. Like I'm in Manitoba, so dead center of Canada. So every track's far, but it's almost all tracks are equal distance. Like it's all in the 20 to 30 hours. Not equal distance, but after about 22 hours, it doesn't matter how long the drive is. I just want it to be over.
100% facts, my friend. Like, can we get out the car now for at least 4 hours, please? Yeah, I'm with you. Caden, what is up, Caden, man? Thank you for tuning in. Caden Crowder says turn 6, 7, 8. Glimmy was crazy before the repave.
Yeah, I agree with that. You needed a steering damper.
Right? At
Yeah,
least mid-setting, too.
I remember my 250 Aprilia from the Town Cup. I would get some pretty gnarly head shake in that section.
Yeah, I guarantee it, man. Thank you
Because
for
6, 7, 8 at
sharing.
Gimli is pretty wide open. Or
Is it really?
six,
Was it like
yeah,
a
6 is
third
pretty
gear?
wide open. It's like
On a 400? Third
Oh, yeah.
gear?
Oh yeah. 400. On my 400, I was like 5th gear bit.
Love it. Clive says, congratulations. That's impressive. Clive, absolutely.
Thank you.
Dude, Jack's a beast, man. I mean, I can't say enough, dude. 65 wins. I don't even think I have that on Ride 5, and that's a video game.
I suck at video games.
Dude, I love video games. I'm like this big kid at heart, bro. You don't even know. I am such a kid. It's crazy. Unfortunately I can't play no video games because my thumb can't get on the controller. For now, but I want to play so bad. And when I went to the doctor the other day to get my first cast cut off, the first question I asked is, when can I ride again? She says, maybe in 3 months. But I'm thinking to myself, because I already come home and got on the scooter and got yelled at by my wife. She's like, what the are you doing? What are you, crazy? You just had this is your second wrist surgery, blah, blah, blah. You better listen to the doctor. I'm like, I promise I will.
Yeah. Another part about 2023 is I graduated high school that year. So that was the year we got that suit made.
Congratulations, brother, man. Congratulations, bro.
Yeah.
It's always good to when I remember being in high school, man, and I always thought, man, I can't wait to get out. I have my own freedom, this and that. And then once I got out, I realized how much I missed the camaraderie at school, right? Showing up every day, seeing the same people, getting in that routine. Once you become this adult, you get all this other stress on the world, mortgage, and all this other yada yada stuff.
Yeah, graduated, worked the next Monday.
Bro, I worked through high school. That's how I got my first motorcycle in high school.
I worked during the summer and on snow days.
I love it, man. I love it. And I assume there's so I lived in Colorado for 7th and 8th grade. And I remember I lived in Littleton. I went to Deer Creek, was the name of the school. And they would not cancel school unless it snowed 18 inches or more. So I remember vividly snowboarding because I was on this hill, right, all the way down to the bus stop. They had these racks on the bus. You put your snowboard on it. You get on the bus. It's like 9 billion degrees because the heat's just absolutely cranking. You walk into school and you take off your layers of clothes and then you're in shirts and t-shirts. I mean, shirts and t-shirts.
Yeah. I would ride my snowmobile to school.
Oh, see, I didn't have a snowmobile in Colorado, but I would too if I had one, right?
Me and a couple of my friends, we rode snowmobiles to school.
That's
then
awesome.
Dirt bikes in the summer.
Dude, I had bought my first street bike in high school, so I was the cool kid riding a street bike in school, right? But yeah, that's they wouldn't close schools unless it snowed 18 inches, like I was saying, man. And I remember the first time we had this major snowstorm. I woke up, I looked outside, I was like, yeah, school's going to be canceled. How much snow we get? My mom was like 14 inches. I was like, yes, a couple of days off of school. She's like, nah, bus is coming to get you. You better get up and get dressed. I was like, what? Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, I remember my grade 10 year, it was like 2 weeks worth of snow days.
Bro.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Bro, yeah. That unfortunately we don't, man. You know, the last big snowstorm we had here in Virginia, my son was 4 or 3, enough to where I made him this big ass snow slide, and we was out there for hours. He wore me out, picking him up, putting him on it, you know. But
yeah,
I like the snow. It's a lot of fun to play in. Let's see, Matt Gaunt also says, so here's the deal. Here's the deal, Jack. You gotta listen to this. He says, come to Gillamy. I hope I'm saying that right, but only for track days. Quit killing my chances to win 600 with a laughing emoji. Not gonna happen.
Might have yourself a deal there.
He said, "Oh, you might have yourself a deal. How much money's involved?" I love it. So, speaking of, what do you do for work, Jack?
So the company I work for is one of the biggest retailers, like snowmobile BRP and like skidoo retailers in Canada or North America, really. I'm not sure if you've ever seen ice road truckers.
Mm-hmm.
So the communities that we sell snowmobiles to are the same or similar communities that you would see in ice road truckers. So way up north, like in the Arctic.
I love it, man. I love it. And I presume you really like your job.
Yeah, I've been working in motorsports, obviously. As a motorcycle racer is pretty nice. So I've been working in the parts department for the last almost a year now.
I love it, man. I love it. Did you plan on doing any mechanic work back there, or do you like the sales size of thing?
During school, when I would work in the summer, that's what I would do. I would do like uncrating PDIs.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, I worked in the dealership for years. I miss it actually. The sad thing is there's no money to be made here at a dealership anywhere near me. I live in a small town. Roanoke's not very big, and there's 2 major dealerships, and yeah, they don't. So, when I first started there, they wanted to put me in sales, even though I got this huge mechanic background. They needed salesmen, so they stuck me out there on the sales floor, and I love to talk anyway, so it was perfect for me. But the first 16 motorcycles you sold were free. They gave you a base salary of $1,200. So you sold 16 motorcycles, you didn't make nothing off of it. After the 17th bike you sold, you only made like $50, and you had to sell like, I think it was 30 or 28. Then you made $200 a bike, and then that was pretty much it. It was just hard. It's hard in a small town because we don't have the volume of people coming in spending the money buying anything, right? So really didn't make a whole lot of money, and I just can't live off of that. So I had to choose a different path as far as work goes anyway. But I miss it, man. I miss being in the industry. And then my favorite job I ever had, I worked at a company called Two Wheel Morgue. People are like, Two Wheel Morgue? I'm like, yeah, dude, we delivered, we picked up dead bodies, and they're like, holy shit. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm just joking. What we did was we bought customer returns from Motorsports, Tucker Rocky, Lockhart Phillips, yada yada yada, and then we take them and sell them on eBay, Amazon. We had a little storefront. People come in and buy stuff. They actually went out of business, and I was there for the whole journey, 8 years, and I miss it. It was absolutely. I had so much fun working there. Matthew Beaudry says, "I'm still faster."
Yeah, my brother, he's so.
Is this true?
Something about Matthew? I don't know if you're listening, but he always bugs me about this. So when I started racing mini bikes, he did too, and he rode my old CRF 50 in the youth championship. He was the national champion. I've never won a national championship. My brother has more national championships than me, and he doesn't race motorcycles. He retired.
He retired already?
Yeah.
And he's the younger brother?
Yeah, he's almost 4 years younger than me.
He says I'm still faster. I love the brother
Rivalry.
Rivalry. Yeah, absolutely. Because each
I
other,
bet
right?
he'll come in here at some point.
That's all right. He can come on in, man. I'm surprised my son Ross ain't busted in here because he told me he's like, oh, up in there. I was like, yeah, come on in, right?
Okay, he's definitely coming here now.
Yeah, come on in, man. Yeah, absolutely. Come on in and have a seat, man. Yeah, it's amazing journey, bro. It really is. You work at a dealership, which is awesome. Let me ask you this: growing up as
Yeah.
a kid, right? I was always into motorcycles and all that too, but I played soccer. Soccer and basketball was my sport. I love
Yeah.
soccer more than basketball. What was you into sports growing up too as a kid? Did you do anything like
Uh,
that, or
I played soccer when I was like 4, but that's it. I wasn't really good at it. I would, instead of playing soccer, I would look at the motorcycles going by on the highway.
Hey, I was the same way. I was always gravitated towards
Yeah.
motorcycle when I was my youngest memory I have. I remember my parents would always look for me, and I'm out there on all over my dad's bike, like I just want to ride. Let's go ride. Let's go ride, Dad. Let's go ride. Yeah, I was the same way. But I
Yeah.
did like soccer. I still watch soccer. It's one of the only ball sports that I still watch on TV is soccer for sure.
Yeah.
I don't watch football or basketball. Maybe in
Yeah.
the NBA finals, I might watch a game. Maybe when I mean watching a game, I'll click it on, and of course I'm watching some racing on YouTube or I subscribe to MotoGP and all that stuff, or we watching old races, and I just kind of
Yeah.
glance at it. Same thing with the Super Bowl, right? My whole thing with the ball sports and the championship games, it gives me a chance too to hang out with my friends and do this mass cookout, right? Hot wings and beer brats and all that
Yeah.
good stuff. That's what I'm there for. I don't really give a shit about the game. So I do watch soccer, man. So I'm a soccer fan. I like Inter Miami here, and that's my team in the United States. So yeah, I do. I mess with soccer for sure. I was supposed to fly out to Coda, which I missed Coda this year, which sucks, but it's all good. I'll go back either next year or the year after. I've been like, if I would have went this year, it'd have been 8 years in a row. So I can afford to miss one or two for sure.
Yeah. I'd love to go there again, even if I'm just watching MotoGP there. I want to go to Dakota again. It's so cool.
Well, I tell you what, man, that's something we should plan on doing, man. Me, you, your dad, man. We should meet up at Coda one year and just enjoy the weekend and hang out all weekend, man, for sure. I would love to have you back at Moto, come to Moto America and either do some racing
I'd
or,
love to be Moto America someday.
I can meet you at a track somewhere. We'll pick some and we'll plan it out. And dude, we can hang out for the whole weekend. I can introduce you to everybody in Moto America. And yeah, man, it'd be a lot of fun for sure. 100%. Let me ask you this, man. Growing up, obviously you still live there. What's your favorite state you've been to in the United States so far?
Arizona.
I loved Arizona when I lived there. I went to MMI out there for 2 years. I bought a house. I almost stayed. But I chose to come home because I'm a homebody, so I miss my mom and my dad, and I know one day they're not going to be here, so I want to spend as much time with them as I can. So I chose to come back home to old Roanoke, Virginia. Right, my parents live like 15 minutes away. I go there, once a week, maybe sometimes twice a week, and I eat dinner with them. Me, my dad, he goes to the Moto America races with me. He absolutely loves it. When MotoGP was here at Indy, we went to every race at Indy except for the last year. So yeah, I've been to Laguna Seca in 05 for the first time MotoGP come back in the United States. That was a freaking lot of fun. Yeah, I love the sport of racing, Jack. I eat, sleep, breathe it. That's all I talk about. When I first met my wife, I thought I was going to run her off because that's all I talked about was motorcycles. I was like, maybe I should talk about something else, right? Like that's it. Like, dude, you got to watch this race, Valentino Rossi, blah 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 blah. But she stuck around.
Yeah.
Jamie, right? Jamie Hansen says, I went to MMI too. Jamie, which MMI did you go to here? They have one in Orlando and one in Phoenix. I chose to go to Phoenix because I grew up in Florida. So I was like, man, I mean, Florida's cool. I've been there. I lived there for 9 years or whatever it was. I want to go somewhere different, and I ain't never been. So yeah, I went to Arizona. I learned a lot. It was a lot of fun. Met a lot of people. That's when I first got into track days and road racing and all that good stuff. So Yeah, it was an absolute mega journey out there. The thing I like about Phoenix too is everything's close.
Yeah.
As far as other states too, and there's a lot of racetracks around within 14-hour drive. You can hit a lot of tracks. So it was Phoenix, me too, Jamie. That's awesome.
Yeah, we have a friend who's got a place in Mesa, so we went. We we hung out with him when we were there. He came to the track with us. We left our bike. We left our F4i at his place actually after Coda. So we went there to Arizona in between Coda and High Plains, and did the track day at Podium Club on that F4i.
That's awesome. Speaking of racing, man, did you watch like MotoGP, British Superbikes, ASPK, all that?
I follow Moto America, World Superbike, MotoGP mainly.
No Isle of Man TT.
Oh yeah,
dude, that's my favorite race of the year. I love the TT.
I want to do it someday, but my parents don't want me to.
I was getting ready to ask you that. Would you ever, do real road racing, real proper road racing? I think it's
absolutely I would.
Man, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm not taking nothing away from short circuit racing at all because it's absolutely a beautiful thing too. But the real road racing, the Northwest 200, dude, all those races, it's hard to describe. It's the best thing ever. That's the best way to put it. I freaking love it. I would love, dude. I say that. Would I ride the TT? Yeah, I would ride it. I wouldn't push myself. I would just love to do a couple laps of the track just to get the airs and the breeze. And man, I'm here. I'm actually here at the island.
I'm doing
racing it. Yeah, I'm doing it. That's a whole nother ball game, right? Racing it versus just riding it. But that dude, I love it. I love the commitment. Maybe one day, Jack. You never know, right? I know a lot of people. I know the people get in contact with that I could put you in contact with that could make that dream a reality. Trust me. We'll have to talk to your parents about that first, though, for sure.
Yeah, I might have to. I'm not sure if they want me to ride there or not.
Your mama's listening to this right now going, absolutely not.
My mom's probably listening to this, shaking her head right now.
Podcast is over. Sorry, Mom. I'm just being honest.
It's a bad
influence.
It's the most
beautiful thing ever. Yeah, I'm a bad influence. I'm a bad influencer over here. It's it is, man. It's
typically I'm the bad influence.
Right. My wife would say the same thing about me, but yeah, here I am. Caden actually has a question. It's a really good question too. He says, oops, sorry. That was Jean. Jean, I'll get to you in 1 second. She says, which was your mom, by the way, because she said absolutely no way. Caden says, any predictions for the Moto America Barber Round Superbike race this season? So are we talking the Superbike class, the Twins Cup, the Talent Cup, the 600? What class are we talking about?
I think the Superbike class, I think it's going to be Josh Herron.
Josh is a beast, man. You can't. A lot of people don't like Josh Herron. I personally like Josh Herron. I think we need.
I've met him. He's chill.
Yeah, I met Josh Herron. Dude, he actually called me on Instagram one day. I pick up my phone. My phone's ringing. It's Josh Herron. I about shit my pants. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, he's dude. Josh is absolutely amazing. His talent, his determination. I love his attitude. I love that he pisses people off. We need more people like that in the paddock, dude, for real, because that's what makes it lively, right?
Pissing people off and being ridiculously fast.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't do nothing about it, but try to beat me, and you can't even do that. So yeah, I'm gonna continue running my mouth, right? But dude, him as a whole, though, he's got the whole social media thing nailed down. He's the OnlyFans, brought it in the paddock. He's an absolute legend. So, I can't disagree with that comment on Josh Herron, winning it this weekend at Barber. It's too early to call, to be honest with you, Caden, because we ain't, practice ain't started yet or anything. There's so much involved in racing as far as, the tires you pick and the weather and how you feel on the bike and yada, yada. Jack knows, right? Everybody knows. So, still, you can't go wrong with Herron. I'd like to see the Attack Yamaha boys bring it to the table.
I'm a Yamaha guy.
Yeah, right. So
two Yamahas right here.
I know. I love it, right? And they're beautiful machines. I'm a bike lover in all bikes. So yeah, I mean, there's been so many seat changes and so much stuff going on in Moto America. It's going to be a proper mega year. Big shout out to my buddy Luca Allen from BSB. He actually on CW Moto out here at first time at Moto America. So congratulations to him. I hope he shows up and absolutely murders it. So, we'll see. But he's racing in the series this
Absolutely.
year. We got the Talent Cup. We had the first, races at Coda, so we got that
Yeah.
going on. Yeah, it's going to be a proper season as far as
Yeah, I'm gonna be keeping
MotoGP
an eye on that talent
on who.
on the talent cup. Just talent cup, but generally gonna be keeping an eye on it this year. I think it's a cool class, cool little bikes.
They're awesome bikes, right? I
Oh,
still have mixed feelings on the whole Talent Cup situation, but we'll see how it pans out and how it plays out. There's I've talked about it many times before. I love Moto America. The whole Talent Cup thing. I see the pluses to it. We go from almost a 30 bike grid down to 15 bikes on the grid. They call it the Talent Cup, the Road to Moto GP, but we got people in there that are 20 and 21 years old. That's not the path to Moto GP. They're never going to make Moto GP. Let's just be honest. At that age, they're not looking for that. So I again, not talking trash about it. I love Moto America. Let's just see what happens, over the next season or two in the Talent Cup. It's great racing. My man Alessandro DeMario absolutely murdered it.
oh yeah.
The first
Oh, yeah.
race.
Yeah, I've ridden with him. He's pretty fast.
It absolutely is. And then, we had two Australians. Man, I forget the names. I should have wrote all that down on the podium too as well. But I think all in all, dude, I've seen the bike in person. It's absolutely a beautiful machine. So,
Oh, I'm sure.
hey,
Yeah.
let's just see, right? It's racing. This is what we got in 2025. So let's fucking go, people. I love it, right? Yeah, as far as, obviously you said World Superbike, Johnny Ray's been hurt. He's not coming back until I think maybe next round he has a possibility to come back. So we'll see when he comes back. Top Rack is doing Top Rack things on the BMW still. Scott Redding's on the Ducati back again.
Top Rack. I think Top Rack right now might be my absolute favorite rider
in the world out of everybody. The whole series, out of any series in the world, Top Rack's your number one guy.
Top three for sure. I don't know who was. I know there's so many riders out there. I don't know who to pick for my favorite, but Top Rack's top three for sure.
Yeah. I get asked this question a lot. My favorite racers are all my friends that race. You, Jack, Levy Batty, Isaac Woodworth, all my friends around the world, Tom Neve, everybody around the world, right? They're all my favorites. I was a diehard Valentino Rossi fan. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing about Valentino Rossi, right? I named my son Hayden Rossi after Nicky and Valentino. After he retired, I found myself, I love Jack Miller. Now that I got my Jack Miller hat on. I don't know if you can see the Miller right here, whatever, and underneath, but yeah, I love Jack Miller too. It's hard, because I know so many people in the sport. To me, when I get asked that question too, I'm like, what kind of racing are we talking about? We're talking about GP, we're talking about Moto America, we're talking about the TT, we're talking about BSB. Where are we going with this? ASBK? I mean, there's so many proper mega superstars and legends in our sport. It's hard to just pick one guy, right? Or girl. Everybody I'm personally invested with are absolutely all my favorites. If I had to pick one GP rider on a grid that I can hang out with today, hands down, it's a no-brainer for me. It'd be Jack Miller. Hands down. If I can hang out with one GP star for the day, of course it'd be Valentino Rossi, but we're talking about current riders right now. It's Jack Miller, hands down. 100%.
Yeah, of course.
Out of MotoGP. If we're talking British Superbikes, man, again, it's a hard one because I got so many friends. Man, I would like to hang out with all of them at one day, like just show up at a karting event and me just go around with a microphone and just talk and do all that, right? But if I just had to choose one, I don't know. I'm going to have to come back to that one. I'll come back to that one. I got to think about that one long and hard.
Yeah, I got to think about that one for a few minutes.
For sure. Well, let me ask you this, man. Do you have any pets?
Yeah, we got 2 dogs, 2 cats.
Me too. 2 dogs, 2 cats, man. Absolutely. Uh, do you name your bikes, Jack?
No, not really.
Yeah, I never did. Okay, I take that back. I'm not saying I never did. I did when I first got into motorcycles, or I grown up
I
as a
did when I
kid.
was like 10.
Yeah, well, my dad got bikes. I'd be like, okay, that's her name. That's her name. That's her name. And my first 2 bikes, I named them. And after that, I realized they're just a tool that I use to go faster on a racetrack or on the
Yeah,
street. Because I got. Go ahead.
the only bike we have that really has a name, it's one that I rarely ride. It's this Chinese Baja 125, but I always call it the Red Rocket. I
I
haven't ridden
love
it
it.
in years.
He said
It's
the
kind of the
Chinese
owner bike of
Baja.
Speedway right now.
It still runs, right?
Yeah, it still runs.
It's a good Chinese bike then.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So back to the questions real quick. Jen says, absolutely no way. We'll get back to that, Jen. But I feel you, right? And I say that, listen, I say that speaking of me being a parent, right? Me growing up, riding these bikes fast on the street before I got into track days. My mom would always like, be careful. I'd come home like at 3 o'clock in the morning. My mom's still wide awake. And I'm like, what are you doing up? She's like, I was just so worried about you till you got home. And I'm always like, I'm fine, mom. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it. Once I have my son, now I totally understand and I get it, right? Because I want to protect him worth everything. I don't never want to see
yeah,
him
of
hurt or
course.
anything. So it's hard to play the double-edged sword on this game,
Yeah,
but I also see it as if he was really into something, he gave it his all, and his whole heart, and he loved it so much, and the outcome could be the worst thing ever. I'd fully support him, even though I wouldn't like it to a certain point. But if that's what made him happy, then I got to be
yeah,
happy, right? So I get where your mom's coming from because if my son come up to me and says, "I want to race a TT," I'd be like, "Are you sure about that? You really need to think about this, right?"
I want to race, but it doesn't mean I should.
But I wouldn't stop him, right? I mean, let's just be honest, I wouldn't. But yeah. Um, let's see. Jake says, Jack, go faster, ride safe with Bison. Absolutely,
Absolutely,
Jake.
go fast, be safe.
Go fast, be safe. That's the motto. I
Yeah.
love Bison. Let's see. Vincent Wilson says, Jack, who's your favorite endurance teammate in the whole wide world?
Oh, Vincent Wilson, 100%.
That was a trick question, Vincent. You already knew what he was gonna say. I love it. I love it. And then Jen says, "What about the green monster?
Oh, the Green Bastard.
The green bastard. Yeah, let's go."
So we have this old dirt bike. It's a 1982 Suzuki DR125. It'll never die. It's just bulletproof reliable. Found it in a shed. It was locked away in a barn for like 20 years. Brought it back to life. One day, last day of school, grade 11, I covered it with green painter's tape and called it the Green Bastard from Trailer Park Boys.
I love it, dude. I was gonna ask you about the Trailer Park Boys. My buddy actually turned me on to that show, and I was like, "I want to watch the Trailer Park." What were you talking? I never even heard of this show. He's like, "Dude, trust me, you just gotta watch it." And next thing I know, I'm freaking glued to the TV for
Yeah.
hours, just
For me,
laughing my
Trailer
ass
Park
off.
Boys, South Park.
Bro, South Park. South Park's another one that was
I
absolutely. I
love
love
South
the
Park.
dude. The first South Park movie was absolutely brilliant. I freaking
What was
love that
that?
movie. The first South Park movie
Oh,
was awesome. Let's see. Vincent also says, Jack, who's your favorite endurance teammate with TPL Racing?
that one's a tough one. Probably Vincent Wilson.
I love it. You like that, don't you, Vincent? I love it, dude. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jack actually sent me this shirt that I'm wearing today. I've actually wore it several times out, and people look at it and they're like, "Oh, you drink Jack Daniels?" I was like, "Oh, this is my buddy, dude. He races. He's in Canada." And then they get to look at it, they're like, "Oh shit, it is." So, yeah, man. Big shout out to you. He actually, I got a TPL Racing T-shirt too as well, and they also sent my son some T-shirts too. So, dude, nothing but love. Big shout out to you and your dad for doing that. Absolutely amazing. But speaking of TPL, how did that whole venture come together?
I am not entirely sure of the whole story. I know it originally started out as an endurance team name at Gimli, I think, something like that. But all I know is it stands for Team Powerline. I don't know what that really means.
It's a good
But
catch, TPL.
they raced AMA like 2015 era, I think, with Jordan Emery. Jake Zemke rode for him.
Yeah, I recognize it. So I was like,
Yeah,
TPO, yeah. As soon as I seen the shirt, I was like, damn, that's something I ain't seen in a long time. I love it. Lewis says, oh, sorry, comment come in before that. Right after it says, the Baja has been gone for a year with a laughing emoji.
yeah, it's been at Speed Road.
I love it. Caden says, oh, another comment. Caden says telephone light pole racing or something. Talking about TPL.
Team Powerline. I think it's Team Powerline.
I love it. Jason Bartlett says, what is up, Jason? He says, go old school, red green show. Owen Bartlett Racing says, hey, and is looking forward to seeing you in CRA paddock this year.
Absolutely, man. Can't wait to see you too. I think we're going to be sharing the track together too. I think you're going to be riding some of the kind of the same classes as me. So looking forward to seeing you out there.
Absolutely, dude. They're amazing people. So big shout out. What is up, Jason, man?
Yeah.
They're absolutely awesome. Vincent Wilson says, what is your biggest achievement racing here in Canada?
Biggest achievement racing in Canada? It's a good one, actually. Probably that one race at Mosport where I finished second. That was the most, that's probably my most fun race, at least in Canada.
Because of the battle.
Yeah, and then that year, probably my actual biggest achievement was being third in the amateur lightweight championship in CSBK.
I love it, man. I love it. So let me ask you this. Do you have a girlfriend, Jack?
No, I do not. Not yet.
Ladies, we got a single man in the house now. Oh my God, I love it. Let me ask you this then, dude. Jack, tell us something we don't know about you at all.
Something you don't know about me at all. I listen to metal all the time.
Metal? You like metal music?
Oh, love it.
Who's your favorite metal band?
Probably Static X or Dope.
I've heard of Static X. I've never listened to any.
I like Korn and I like Deftones too.
Yeah, man, I like Deftones and Korn.
I'm seeing both of them in concert.
I like Marilyn Manson. I'd be rocking out to him.
I was listening to Mob Scene today.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah. Then in August, me and one of my buddy from around here who races Game Lazy James Caden Ansberg going to see Deftones live. And then me and someone who commented earlier, Jacob Abinet, we're going to a Korn concert.
I love it, dude. I've never been. I've been to some concerts, never seen Korn or any of them. I would love to. It'd be absolutely a good time, and you will absolutely enjoy the show for sure. What's your worst habit?
I'm pretty bad for energy drinks.
Energy drinks?
Yeah.
What's your go-to energy drink?
Red Bull or White Monster.
Man, I'm just not a big Monster guy. Like, I've tried them. I'm not a big energy drink guy anyway. Red Bulls are good.
I love Red Bull.
You and a buddy of mine, man. He's a Red Bull fanatic. Matter of fact, we went to Indy. He drank so many Red Bulls it gave him heart palpitations. He had to go to the hospital because every time I turn around, dude, he was just like, "Bro, you done spent like $150 on freaking Red Bull drinks, dude. You need to."
Yeah, I used to drink at school all the time until I realized how much money I was spending on them.
Bro, and they're so bad for you, man. I got so much sugar. Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't lie because to me, dude, I think the original Red Bull is probably still one of the best tasting one there is.
That's pretty much the only one I drink.
Oh, the original?
Oh, yeah.
So Matt says passing the 1000s on a 2-stroke Honda has to be the biggest achievement.
Yeah, that's pretty frequent too.
Right? And then
no brakes.
No brakes. I love the motto. That should be the name of this podcast. Jack, no brakes. We got a good friend of both of ours in the house right now, and an absolute legend herself, Tasha Lackey. What is up, Tosh? He says, Jack, with the bison and the yes, let's go, in a Canada sign. I will see you at Road Atlanta, my friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tosh is absolutely amazing. You know, Tosh, you missed it because we was talking about bison probably about 30 minutes ago on the podcast. for a good hot little minute.
Yeah, I was
So
talking about my grad suit.
yeah, which is I love the colors, the blue and the yellow. It's freaking
Yeah,
awesome. I like the gray one. I like them all. I'm a big. Obviously, you can tell by my shirts and all that. I love the bright
yeah.
'90s
My
neon
favorite part
colors.
about the grad suit is on my grad weekend. I was right. The weekend I graduated was a Gimli weekend, like the weekend before my convocation. So I decided to wear the grad suit on track, but the body rig that's on that bike right there was the body rig that was on my race bike. So you can tell it matches it pretty well.
It does. I love it,
We had
man.
my dad has like a Cricut machine to make stickers, so we put grad 24 stickers on it.
It's awesome. I love it, man. Proud dad too, for sure. Um, Let me ask you this. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Do you read books or do you listen to audiobooks too as well?
Not really. I listen to your podcast mainly ever since I heard about it.
Bro, thank you so much for all the love, dude. It's an absolute honor. I can't be the only podcast you listen to. You got to listen to other podcasts too as well, right?
I listen to Joe Rogan sometimes.
I was listening to Rogan today, man. Actually, him and let me see, let me pull it up. He's interviewing Bart Serbell. Yeah, I'm listening to his podcast right now. He says that the moon landing was fake. So I'm listening to his side of the whole thing. But dude, I get into all that conspiracy theory bullshit all the time. So it's just but I listen to a lot of podcasts too. I listen to Danny Jones, I listen to Pipe Dreams, I listen to Off Track Pod Track podcast here in America, but I also listen to a good buddy of mine, Dave Neal. He has one out there in the UK called Off Track Podcast. He does a lot of obviously all BSB, TT, Northwest 200, and he gets some MotoGP people on there too as well. And Chasing the Racing's a really good one too. That's another favorite one of mine. They're based out there in the UK too, so big shout out to them as well. As far as audiobooks, man, go, like I'm all into audiobooks, man. I since I listen to a lot of podcasts and I started podcasting, I was like, you know what? I used to love to read all the time, but I find myself now if I start to read, I fall asleep. So I was like, you know what?
Have you listened to the John Hopkins audiobook, the Leather?
I was going to say that to me,
I listened to it. 100%
bro,
amazing.
So
What a story.
80 motorcycle racers that's got an audiobook. I have it in my phone. I spend a lot of money on audiobooks. Obviously, I got a shit ton. But John Hopkins to me was the best story that I've heard. What I love about it is when you listen to audiobook, or you can't really tell if how genuine they're being about themselves because they're telling their story in the way they see it, right? So, but when John Hopkins talk about, you feel that genuality. I just made up a word. How genuine he is telling his story. You know, like
my favorite part about it might be that he started on a 125 two-stroke. Started road racing on a 125 two-stroke. I think.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And dude, he was like he laid it all on the table, which nothing but much respect, and it was an absolute journey. Dude, Michael Dunlop's is really good. Johnny Ray's is really good. John McGinnis' one's really good. I've listened to all of Guy Martin's. Man, I could sit here and go on and on about audiobooks. Not only that, I listened to Adrian Bourdain's got some good audiobooks out there. Man, I listen to Star Wars audiobooks, you name it. I'm an audiobook kind of nerd. So, matter of fact, let's see. The current one that I'm actually listening to right now is Anthony Bourdain's new one that just come out. Even though he's passed away for years, it was one that they previously did not release until now. Is No Reservations by Anthony Bourdain. So, I am a book nerd, not in the sense of reading them, but listening to them. Yeah, like I just listened to Toby Price's Endurance, which is really good. Uh, Never Say Never by Nick Harris, Mark Webber F1, Jensen Button F1. I mean, you name it. Valentino Rossi, dude. I'm a nerd. Another good book too. I recommend people. It's called The Ragged Edge. That's a really good book. I highly recommend this book right here. I've not really talked about it a whole lot, but the brutal true story of the Isle of Man TT, The Ragged Edge, is an absolute amazing books by Stuart
Yeah,
Baker.
I've heard of that one, but I haven't listened to it.
Dude, you gotta download it and listen to it. You'd be like, holy shit. Absolutely. I just dropped my phone. But yeah, dude, it's a freaking amazing book, man. So yeah, I am a book nerd and a podcast nerd too as well. So yeah. And again, thank you for all the love and support, Jack. It's when people say that, man, I get emotional a lot of times because I never thought I'd be in this position, right? And to hear comments like that come from you, and like what your dad told me last night, which has stuck with me. It's absolutely amazing. Nothing but love, man. I'm telling you right now, it's you guys make my day, and girls, 110%. So let me ask you this, Jack. What is your favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday? Probably Christmas.
Everybody loves Christmas. I like Halloween. I'm a
Christmas
Halloween
or New
man.
Year's.
I like to scare people. I like to dress up. I love horror flicks. So I love horror movies. I watch a shit ton of horror movies.
My last 2 years of high school, I had no idea what to wear for Halloween, so I just wore my leathers to school.
I did that 2 years ago. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna be. I don't feel like doing nothing scary, so I just shut up my leather suit. They're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "I'm a road racer."
I
What are you talking about?
wore the towel cup suit to school twice.
I love it. People are like, "What the hell do you got on, Jack?"
The blue helmet right there, I wore to school.
Love it. I love it, dude. I love that new KYT Bassanini, man. That's the one I want to get because it goes perfect
too.
with my suit, dude. That's an amazing helmet.
One thing I noticed, having it lined up with all my NZ race helmets here, it looks smaller.
It does look smaller. Absolutely, it does. Have you tried it yet compared to the NZ race?
I've worn it, but I haven't actually worn it on a bike yet.
Initial feeling between the NZ race and the KX1.
What did you say, sorry?
The initial feeling between the KX1 and the NZ race.
They fit pretty much the same, honestly. I mean, I haven't worn it on track yet. It's still brand new. It hasn't really broken in. Still feels pretty stiff when I put it on, but
you haven't even took the sticker off the visor yet.
No, it's like brand new.
It's brand new. It's got that new helmet smell. I love it, dude. Size extra small.
Yeah, I got a very big head.
Dude, I wear a small. People like, you wear a small? I'm like, yeah, I wear a small, man. I don't have a very big head. I got a small head. So we got another good buddy of mine and an absolute legend, Rob Oliver. What is up, Rob? He says, Jack.
Hey, Rob.
Rob's absolutely an amazing human being. I can't wait to sit back down and do our part 2.
He helped us out with what did you say?
I said I can't wait to sit back down and do a part 2 with him.
Yeah, I listened to your podcast with him. He's helped us out with Bridgestones. He's a Bridgestone supplier in CRA. So we're looking forward to working with him this year. Him and the whole LM2 team have helped us out.
Man, listen.
So massive thank you. Huge respect to him and the whole LM2 crowd.
Bro, Owen Bartlett, dude, all of them, dude, they're absolutely amazing people. It's an honor to in this short lifetime that we all live, not only be able to sit down and have these conversations and get you guys' story out to be friends. To me, that's the most important thing. It's an absolute honor, right? Again, going back to what I was saying earlier, none of us are strangers. We're just friends that haven't met yet. And one thing,
we're just a bunch of guys that like riding motorcycles,
dude. That love that give everything to bikes, right? When I freaking drive in my car, sometimes I'm acting like I'm on a bike. My wife's like, "Oh God, here we go again." You know, I make the noises and I'll turn the radio off. I make everybody be quiet. I'm just like, leaning in the car, like, yeah. She's like, "What? You're gonna wreck us?" I'm like, I got this, girl. I got this. It's hilarious. Rob says, oops, thanks, Jack. Total class act rider and team that we are happy to support. Yeah, dude. Absolutely, Rob.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
Proper man. Yeah, dude. Jack, you're a legend, bro. You got what it's take. You deserve to be where you are. You're a champion, and you're absolutely going to go far in this sport, man. 110%. Let me ask you this, bro. You know, me growing up, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Is that something you watch too as well?
What?
Did you hear
Star Wars?
Yeah. Do you watch Star Wars?
No, not really. You were breaking up a bit there.
Okay, sorry about that. Boo on the Star Wars, right? Like, no, just joking. So are you more of a Marvel DC guy?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've never been too into superheroes, but I would say I'm a more Marvel DC guy.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Let me ask you this, Jack. If you had your own private track day and you can invite anybody in the world, dead or alive, it could be Valentino Rossi, it could be a former president, it could be anybody. What three people are you going to bring to your track day?
Jacob Babnett, Caden Ends from CSBK or from Gimli, and then I'm not even sure who the third one would be. There's just so many riders. Valentino Rossi, maybe, or Caden Crowder, who's watching this, I think, right now.
I think you just broke Vincent's heart. He was so hoping you was going,
Or
me,
Vincent.
Me.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm just joking with you, Vincent. That's awesome. I love it, man.
I do it with anyone.
Yeah, man, dude. It's if I could ask that question, I'm like, man, how big is this track day event going to be? Because I want everybody to come, right? Like I want Michael Dunlop, Joey Dunlop, Valentino Rossi, Miguel Duhamel, dude. You name it, I'm bringing like everybody. We're not even going to ride on the track. We're just going to sit around a big bonfire and just chatty Cathy it up. Be freaking awesome. If you had your own private island, Jack, and you could have one racetrack on that island, what's the one racetrack you'd have on it?
Phillip Island. The dream racetrack.
Bro, I love Phillip Island. I can't Phillip Island's in my top three. My favorite racetrack in the world is Cadwell Park, as you know, because you listen to the podcast.
Oh, for sure, the mountain.
Bro, I'm telling you, dude. I was fortunate enough to go there in 23 and to see it in real life.
Right?
It's like, no, I didn't ride it. Well, when I go back out there next time, I'm absolutely going to ride it. But it's just like you was talking about Coda, right? When you showed up, turn one, dude, you don't realize the hill. You're like, holy shit!
That's it's like you're climbing up a wall,
bro. So Cadwell Park, man. When I first seen that, I was like, holy shit, dude! You got to be kidding me! And the track's literally like this wide, right? All the other racetracks in America is this wide. This track's literally this wide. I was like, is this pit out? They're like, no, mate, this is the track. I was like, what? Yeah, it's dude. So I would have Cadwell Park. If I didn't have Cadwell Park, I'd have the Isle of Man TT. So I'd have a pretty big island, obviously, but yeah, absolutely the freaking TT for sure. Let me ask you this, man. What's your all-time favorite meal?
Meal? It's a tough one, but gotta go with pizza.
Dude, I think pizza's the go-to for everybody, right? Pizza's just pizza. So let me ask you this: are you a pineapple on pizza person?
No. My dad is, but I'm not.
I like pineapple on pizza. I'm not going to lie, but yeah, absolutely. But I love hot and spicy food, though. So the hotter it is, the better it is to me. I love Thai food, Greek food. I don't like Chinese food. The American version of Chinese food, I'm not a huge fan of. Everything tastes the same. I don't care what you get. You get General Tso's chicken, beef and broccoli, dude, it all tastes the same. All the rice tastes the same. It has no flavor. You got to add all this shit to it. Thai food is probably my go-to, 100%. And I get it spicy. That and Indian food. I love Indian food too as well. And yes, I love pizza and Mexican food. So, man, I just love food is what it is. But I love to cook. I get cooking from my mom. So I like to make all that shit, homemade. I make my own homemade salad dressings too as well, which is to die for. I freaking love my salad dressing. So, and I make a mean cheese dip. So every party that we all throw, we're having a buddy of mine down the street. Her son's getting ready to graduate. She's having this big graduation party, and she was like, "You got to bring your cheese dip." I'm like, "I'm on it. I'm on it." So,
have you ever had queso?
Yeah, I make homemade queso too.
Yeah, we make homemade queso here sometimes.
It's good, man. I love it, dude. I try not to eat it all the time because.
And we have so much leftovers that it lasts us like a week.
I love queso. Not me. That's the problem. I make homemade cheese dip. It's 3 days. It's gone because that's all I'll eat. I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to do burgers tonight. I won't even I won't eat no bun, and I just
Yeah,
dump cheese dip all over
we have a
everything.
big frying pan that we cut the handle off that we make it in.
I love it, dude. Love it. I love it. Um, let me ask you this, man. What advice, Jack, would you give to your younger self?
Don't give up. Trust the process. Work out.
Speaking of training and working out, Jack, what is your typical run me through a typical day in the life of Jack?
I'll get a couple hours of sleep, get up, shower, go to work, go home, eat supper, go to the work on the bike a little bit. That's going to be more the focus this month and before the season is getting the bike done. That's going to be the priority, but usually I'll go to the gym. Been going almost every night.
Do you train often on motorcycles too as well, like mini moto and stuff like that?
I ride at Speed Road, but the Speed Road season is coming to an end soon. Since since the race season's starting for everyone, so everyone's getting wants to get their bikes ready.
All right. Do you have any superstitions, Jack, as far as like preparing for battles, what I always call it? You know, there's riders that, do certain routines and all that, like left boot on before my right boot.
I always put my right boot on first.
Do you?
Right boot, right glove.
Do you like obviously everybody's got their own routine. Do you listen to music, obviously stretches, little warm up and all that?
I always got an AirPod in.
Yeah, ever since AirPods come out, I usually got one in, especially at work. I always have one in. And guess what I'm listening to? Probably podcast. Straight up, jamming podcast.
My left AirPod's probably got like 1,000 hours on it, and then my other one's got like 100.
Bro, listen, I'm the same way. I feel you on that, man. It's I actually dropped mine so many times that when I got them both in, my left one sometimes it don't work and it makes my right one kind of cut out, so I got to take it out in order for my right one to be clear. I need a new pair. I just don't want to spend $250 on a pair of freaking.
Yeah, mine are the Gen 2s, and they were $250, but the Gen 3s were like almost 400, and they're basically the same thing. So I just got the Gen 2s. I love them.
Mine. Actually, I got mine right here. Mine's are. I think mine might be the. What's the difference? These right here got the little rubber things on that I can replace.
Yeah, we got the same ones.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, these things right here got a shit ton of hours on them too myself. So yeah, it's like I feel naked if I leave the house. I ain't got my earbuds, right? Like I'm the type of guy now, since I've had those, when I get a phone call, I'll answer the phone, say, give me 1 second. Let me throw my earbuds in, and I'll put the phone down, throw my earbuds in, and then walk around the house. I'm at the point now where I do not like to do this at all, right? Like if I'm at the racetrack, yeah, of course, I don't have my earbuds.
Yeah, why go?
Go ahead.
Why go through that when you can just use your AirPods?
My point exactly, right? So yeah,
one of my favorite things about them is the noise canceling. So sometimes if we're like on the way to the track and I'm trying to sleep, I'll just throw my AirPods in and not play anything. Noise canceling, it's pretty easy to fall asleep.
Absolutely, it is, man. Let me ask you this, Jack. What is your racing goals? What goals
I'd like to ride.
Set forward for you?
I like to be winning on the national or international level someday.
Dude, I don't see why you won't never make it. You're fast enough. You'll absolutely make it, right? So speaking of national level, like where do you see yourself, Jack? Like, do you want to be World Superbike World Champion, BSB, Moto America? What series would you really want to
riding Moto America in the future? I mean, obviously, every motorcycle's dream is to be in MotoGP, but it's not going to happen for everyone. But yeah, I'd love to ride Moto America someday. Moto America Superbike, I'd love to ride there someday.
It would be an honor to have you here too, for sure. Let's see if we can make that happen. I don't see why we couldn't.
I don't see why we couldn't either.
Jamie says, get Shooks, game changer. What is Shooks? Jamie, what is Shooks? I'm not sure what that is. Jack, do you know what that is?
I think it might be a different kind of earbuds. I'm not sure.
I don't either. But Jamie, tell us what that is, and I have to check them out for sure. Oh, that's awesome. Let me ask you this, Jack, man. What is life after racing? Have you ever thought about what's
Uh,
after racing?
Hopefully, I'm a dad someday with a bunch of cool motorcycles.
Dude, you why not, right? You so I met my wife on a blind date. Like we met on a blind date. So yeah, I think every uh girl and boy always wants to be a father or mother one day, right? Um that's really what life's about. I ever since I had my son Rossi, he's my everything. I spend all my time with him. I mean, you guys see it. Your dad gave me the compliment every time he comes in the room, no matter who have the honor to sit down with and talk. I stop the whole conversation and pay 100%, attention to my boy. And that's the main reason why I do this podcast. Yes,
Yeah.
it's to give back to the sport. It's to help grow the sport. It's to get, Jack on here and all the other people that none of the other podcasts are going over to help our sport grow. Right, you guys are the future legends, not the people that's already a household name. Right, they've been there. That's why they're a household name. Right, to me, they're fast and they're legends, but they're on their way out. Where you're not a household name. You're on the way up, right? You are the future legend. So that's
It's
why
only the start.
only the
I'm not
beginning,
even 20
right?
years old yet. It's only the start.
That's what I'm saying. So, but my son, dude, I can't say enough about him, dude. He's absolutely my everything. And again, that's why I do this podcast. If I was to drop dead right now on this podcast, he can always go back to YouTube, Spotify, wherever it is, and listen to me and see me laugh and always have these conversations. I think that's something I always wanted to do when I had a kid is leave something for him that was different than most people leave money and houses and all this shit, right? I,
Yeah,
I
for
wanted
sure.
to leave him something more important than that, which ultimately would be my voice, right? In video. So yeah, my boy's my everything for sure. It broke my heart that he's not into motorcycles like me, right? But you know what? Everybody's their own unique individual
Everyone's got to
person.
chase their own dreams.
Everybody's got to chase their own dreams. So, if he says, "Hey, I want to be a professional YouTuber," let's do it. I'll help you do it. Right?
Absolutely.
He wants to be a professional salsa dancer. Hey, let's go. I never done a cha cha before, but hey, I'll learn. Right? The dance
Let's do
moves.
it.
So,
Sounds fun.
right, let's go. Right? So yeah, yeah, man, I get it, bro. I really do. What's your spared animal, Jack?
Spirit animal.
Yes, sir.
Uh, I don't know. Probably like. It's a good question. Probably like a gorilla or something. They're cool.
He said a gorilla. I love it. Silverback gorilla, baby. Bah, 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 bah. Let's go. King Kong in the house. Um, Jamie says they are bone conduction headphones. Are they in earbuds or are they headphones like I got on? He says you'll never wear earbuds again. So they're earbuds. Shooks is the brand.
I'm gonna have
You
to
know
look them
what?
up.
Dude, I'm writing that down right now, Jamie Hansen. Thank you so much for the recommendation. And Jamie, so I'm gonna look into this. You got to do me a favor and download that audiobook and have a listen to either John Hopkins Leathered or The Ragged Edge by Stuart Baker. It's highly recommended, 110%. But yeah, I can't wait to check in these earbuds. And then we got another really good buddy of mine, an absolute legend of the sport, Crease Elliott. Bro, what is up, baby? He says, Simcoe looking good. Thank you so much, my friend. And you, my friend, are absolutely burning it
100%.
out there in Colorado on that bike. Do you know Crease? Have you ever met Crease?
I've heard of him, but I don't think I've ever met him.
Yeah, dude. Him and his dad, dude, they're absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to run back and see them again at Moto America. It's gonna be nothing but hugs and high fives and laughs and good
Sure.
times, man. Yeah, he's absolutely amazing. He's another one that everybody has their own unique riding style and the way they approach racing. Crease to me, man, he is so smooth on the motorcycle. He's got a unique riding style, and I absolutely love it. To me, honestly, he reminds me a lot of Frankie Morbidelli's style. So, which is amazing. You Jack too as well. What I noticed about you Jack, I love the way that when you get in the corner, you pick up the bike and you're still leaned over, and then you gradually come up. It's a little bit Danny Perdosa style.
Yeah, that's just kind of
Um,
how I ride. Just point and shoot.
that's what I just got done saying. That's why I called it right. So that's again, everybody brings their own unique style to it.
Yeah.
And I
If
love to
I'm
watch that about
yeah,
all my friends, right? Because that's what makes you guys individuals and stand out from everybody else.
yeah.
Absolutely, man. So listen, we're a big family of guns. Do you guys like guns too out there? You guys go shooting?
I think I've shot a gun once or twice in my life.
Yeah, you know, us Americans are big in our guns, right?
Oh yeah.
And we
Oh,
are.
I think
So
that's cool
we
shit.
I my son, I got video of my son. I think he was 4 or 5 at the time. We're in there on the table. Actually, I take it back. He was smaller than that because he's still in his diaper. I got videos of my boy in his diapers taking apart my handgun, cleaning it, and putting it back together. No bullshit, right? And I bought him his first AR. He was 7. Yeah, so we definitely like to go shoot. We are definitely shooting
There's
guns and motorcycles.
oh yeah.
100%.
This is actually speaking of on the topic of like baby pictures. There's a picture of me somewhere where I was so small as a baby where I could fit in a motorcycle helmet.
Dude, no, man, I wish I had him in here, dude. So when Rossi was first born, I have a Valentino Rossi helmet. And I put Rossi inside the helmet, and he had his onesie on that said Simcoe 46 on the back. Yeah, that was his first pictures. That him in Valentino Rossi helmet, right? So let's go. Yeah, man. I love it, dude. I love it. Um, what advice would you give a younger kid coming up in the sport right now, trying to make it?
Don't give up. Lock in. Because no matter who you are, no matter what level you're at, you can always improve.
Self improvement's a big thing too. Not outside of a motorcycle race, man. I strive every day to be a little bit better, right? I want to make every day a little bit better, a little bit easier, and improve every day. Um, I think it's a good mentality to have, for sure. So yeah, let me ask you this, bro: if you could travel back to any era of time, what time would you travel back to?
Dinosaurs.
You
Imagine
think so?
like running through the forest and then you see a big T-Rex. It's probably gonna try and kill you, but at least it'll be cool.
I would shit myself. I'm not gonna lie, right? I don't have a gun that big to take this thing down. So yeah, we're in trouble. That's hilarious. Dinosaur era would be cool. I never thought about it. I'd probably like to go back to see how the pyramids were built, or I'm really big into. I like the Egyptian mythology, the Greek mythology. I'm big into Sparta and the Battle of Thermopylae and all that stuff, right? So I would like to go back and meet King Leonidas and all that stuff. It'd be interesting, right? Or maybe just going back to the first human on Earth. Maybe I don't know, man. There's so many time periods I'd like to go back and travel and hang out and see. Um, Maybe bring an iPhone with me or a set of earbuds. Hey, you guys, check this thing out. But you don't want to go back too far because you'd be a witch or a wizard and be burnt at the
Yeah,
stake.
that
And
would
I ain't trying to.
suck.
Yeah, that would suck big time, right? I'd be like, there's no place like home. Clicking my heels together, like I'm trying to go home. Let me out of here. Oh man, I love it, dude. Oh man, dude. So have you done have you had any proper coaching as far as the road racing goes?
Did a little bit of coaching in 2022, a little bit with break free track time down in Arizona, and a little bit at the Ridge.
After your racing career, Jack, would you like to stay inside the sport? Like, do you see yourself being like a team owner or
Well,
like
absolutely.
a riding coach, right? Like sports bike, track gear, riding coach, or CMVA?
Yeah, I'd love to be like a
Yeah,
riding coach or a team owner or something cool like that one day.
that would be awesome. That would be
But I
good.
want to be a rider.
Well, of course you do, Jack, right? Yeah, absolutely. Because you are a rider. You're an absolute legend, right? And your journey's just beginning, which is absolutely amazing. You're going to go absolutely far in this sport. Win many, many championships. You're going to make a whole lot of money, and you will be a dad and have a bunch of kids, and a beautiful life awaits you
Yep.
ahead. It is what I'm saying. So let me ask you this: future dad Jack, do you want to get your kids into racing too, or at least riding?
If they want to do it, I'm gonna be all in.
110%. I love it, man.
Because
I do.
I was always a little kid at the track that would want to go and high five the riders. So if I'm at the track, my kids are giving high fives to all the riders. I know how they're gonna end up one day.
I see. I took Rossi. It was his second time at VIR, second or third time. He started making friends. Him and Yondell Mendia. Big shout out to Yondell and his dad, Carlos and his mom, and all that. We're there at VIR, and he's like, "Dad, watch this," and I was like, "All right, let me see." I had no idea what my boy was gonna do. So he takes off running. When you go to Moto America, everybody's got their tent. Attack Yamaha's got the tent. They got the movie theater string, crossed or you can't pass. Well, here comes my son. He comes balling down, goes right up underneath there. The dude's just steady working on a bike. He taps him on the shoulder. He says, "Hey, man, you dropped your pencil." And the dude looks down. He says, "Ha, I gotcha." And he takes off laughing. And the dude's laughing, right? He did that throughout the whole paddock that day. He's running around going, "Hey, man, you dropped your pencil." And everybody, dude, they loved it. Everybody was laughing at him. It was absolutely amazing. I was like, "Yep, my boy absolutely fits in. He's a mini me for sure." It was hilarious because he ran up to Jake Gagne and was like, "Hey, man, you dropped your pencil." Mind you, he had no idea who Jake Gagne was. And I was thinking to myself, "Oh, shit. I wonder how this is going to play out," right? Jake's so cool. He reaches in his pocket and Rossi looks down and he pulls out this marker. He's like, "What are you talking about? This pencil?" And Rossi was like, "No, that pencil, right?" And they start laughing. So he goes in there and gives him a knee puck and takes a picture with him. And it's in his bedroom right now. So yeah, I love our sport. I love the beauty of our sport. I love everybody in our sport, right? I always call it our beautiful circus.
I
And
mean,
it's the
behind all the racing, the rivalry as well, just a bunch of guys that like riding motorcycles.
guys and girls too, for
And we're gonna
sure.
do, for the
Um,
most part, we're gonna do anything we can to help each other out because we all
again,
got the dream of being a racer.
that's the beauty of our sport, right? And it's the only sport where the clowns got to pay to play too.
Yeah.
100%, right? Yeah. And then, as far as in our sport today, Jack, social media is such a big part of our sport. Sponsorships look for people that have a lot of followers and all that. Are you real big into social media and doing post all the time as far as Instagram,
Yeah,
Facebook,
I've been
TikTok,
posting on
and
my
all that?
Instagram a lot. I post on my TikTok sometimes. I have my Instagram account's linked to my Facebook account,
Yep. Mine too
and
as well.
I made a public profile on my Snapchat account because I finally found out how to actually do that.
You know what? I don't think I know how to make a public profile on my Snapchat, but we'll talk after this podcast, dude. We've been on here for almost 2 hours, bro.
I haven't felt like 2 hours, but yeah,
Dude,
hour 53 minutes.
that's what I love about podcasts, man. Time goes by so fast because that's what happens when two friends get together and we just talk about what we love, which is motorcycles, right? It's an absolute amazing thing. But Jack, dude, I'm gonna have to end this podcast here in a few because it's almost my son's bedtime. I know he's gonna come busting in here, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to go in there and go spend some time with him. But I'm gonna let you end the podcast. But before I do that, man, I just want to let everybody know. Listen, again, I say it all the time. Thank you guys and girls so much for all your love and support. Without you guys and girls, I would not be able to do this. It is nothing but love. I'm telling you, it's an absolute honor. Um, Big shout out to Next Level Financial. Take control of your financial future. Get your complimentary financial analysis today by Seth Starnes. Big shout out to bisontrack.com for all your custom gear. Listen, I say it again, people. It's 2025. Do yourself a favor. Love yourself. Be safe, be fast. Go to bisontrack.com, get that full custom suit. They make it so easy. The whole design process, the people you're going to meet, Morgan, Tasha, Robert, Carter, Edith, everybody along the way.
the guys are true, amazing people.
absolutely amazing. Rob Oliva. I mean, there's so many people in
Rob's an awesome
bison.
guy.
Listen, it's 2025, bisontrack.com. Let's freaking go. What are you guys waiting on? Big shout out to Chef Eats. My buddy Jeff Servin has a company called Chef Eats. He makes pre-made food. You just throw it in the microwave, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. It's absolutely amazing. I eat it. It's dude. I'm not saying that. A lot of people ask me to. Like, I got a big list. I'm getting ready to give a shout out. All these people are my personal
Yeah,
friends within the industry, and I just want to see them grow, because if they're growing, then our industry is growing too as well, right? So you're not going to go wrong by ordering anything from any of these people. So let's freaking go. Big shout out to Chef Eats, TST Industries in Florida. Big shout out to my man Martin that owns, my son started coloring this, theclothingkings.co.uk. You guys can go there to the website and get all your Pin to Gas merch. Um, Big shout out to Eric at Superbike Supply. Hashtag do it for dad. Big shout out to SFL Mini GP. Go to miniusasbk.com. Sign up, dude. SFL Mini GP to me is the best rider program we have here in America. That's where all the future legends are coming out of.
yeah, for sure.
Jersey and South Florida, dude. You got Brandon Posh, Gus Rodeo, Avery Dreyer, Ella, Isaac Woodworth. I mean, listen, the list is long. So I am a huge supporter of SFL Mini GP, and big shout out to Jillian Carrera, uh, which is Michael Carrera's dad that runs SFL Mini GP. He's also racing in the Talent Cup this year, as well as the British Talent Cup. So big shout out to him. And he's got a big year ahead of him, racing in two different series, one in the UK, one in America. That's absolutely amazing. Big shout out to RD Racing and my mate Jake Marsh out there. Big shout out to Vet2 Track. So any of my veterans out there, my buddy Jim has a program called Vet2 Track. You can go to vet2track.com. His whole motto is curing PTSD one lap at a time, which is absolutely amazing. So you go to the website. If you have any issues, can't find it, whatever it is, hit me up. I'll point you in the right direction. Big shout out to Flying Eyes Optics for all your sunglass needs. I keep mine in my car right now because my wife and all her friends and my buddies try to steal my Flying Eyes Optics. They are sunglasses that are made in Austin, Texas, here in America. You take the arms, Jack, you can bend them. I mean, you can just fold them in.
Really?
They come out. Yes, dude. They're made to wear underneath your helmet. So I
Oh,
wear
really?
glasses.
Oh,
Yes, I wear my contacts 90%
I
of
wear
the
I wear
time.
contacts actually because of racing, and then I
Oh,
just really like them, so I wear them all the time.
okay. So one thing that I found out with me wearing contacts and racing, man, if it dries my eyes out sometimes because the helmets they vent so freaking well these days, right? It's like I
Yeah,
find I'm blinking trying to get. I'm like, wait, I wish I had wetting drops. I could squirt it in my eyes as I'm riding, right? But Flying Eyes Optics, you can get prescription and non-prescription, either glasses or sunglasses, right? But they're absolutely amazing. Jack, when I see you, I'll have them with you. I'll give them to you. You can wear them for the weekend. You just got to give them back, and you'll be like, dude, I absolutely love these glasses. You guys can go to flyingeyesoptics.com, use the discount code, pin the gas, and get 10% off. Big shit out to 64 Degree Racing, which is undersuits. My man Tate, he made me a custom two-piece undersuit. You know, this is something I also tell people, Jack, don't go to a race weekend or a track day weekend with one undersuit. Bring many undersuits with you. Bring
yeah.
more
I
undersuits than
like
you do
that.
underwear and socks. 100%, right? So everybody has their favorites, right? Whether it's a two-piece or one-piece. I find myself, I love both. It depends on the mood that I'm in, whether I want to wear one or two. I love my Bison one piece. It is absolutely my favorite. The thing that I love about my Bison one suit, my one piece too, it's got the man zipper. I ain't got to take everything off, right? I just do it right here, zip it, and boom, I'm good to
Yeah,
go.
that's my favorite part about it too. I have the same one.
100%. And it's great. It breathes really well, dude. It's
Yeah,
slick, it's smooth, it's great, right? But Tate at 64 Degree Racing sent me a custom two piece. It's my favorite two piece. It's absolutely amazing.
I have
So
that.
if any
I have my Bison one piece and my Bison two piece.
Okay, see, I don't have a Bison two piece. I chose the one piece, but the next time I definitely get a two piece again. You know, it's something you need a lot of is undersuits for sure, right? You might go out for 2 or 3 sessions and it's super hot. You want to change that undersuit. Trust
Yeah,
me,
especially if
right?
it's like
So
a plus 30 weekend. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
hot as hell is what it is, right? Let's just be
Yeah,
honest.
100 degrees is 37 degrees Celsius.
It's hot and humid, yeah, especially like
Hot and
somewhere at
humid.
Coda. Yeah, you want to bring more. So, um, another friend of mine has a undersuit company called Venom. Venom undersuit. So
I've heard of them.
venomsport.com. Yep. Big shout out to Aliki. She's absolutely amazing. She actually, Jack, when we get off the podcast, it's hanging up over here. I have to, yeah, it's hanging up over here. She actually sent me, you remember Jonas Folger, that race MotoGP?
Yeah.
She sent me his two-piece undersuit.
Oh, sweet.
That sign, dude. Yeah, it's sick, bro. It's awesome. So if anybody's in the market for undersuits, Bison Track, 64-degree racing in venomsport.com. Big shout out to Ghetto Customs, my buddy Chris Paris. He's an absolute legend, but he makes custom body work. It's absolutely amazing. So if you got a Aprilia RS660 or an SV, I'm pretty sure he's making for a lot of bikes, but look no further than Ghetto Customs. You guys can go to ghettocustoms.com. If you are in the state of Pennsylvania, look no further than Cars Performance. Best dealership in Pennsylvania, hands down. KYT Helmets America. My buddy Jack wears KYT. Matter of fact,
Yeah,
a
I
lot of my
got
friends wear KYTs.
like 7 of them.
Bro, they're absolutely amazing. And this is my thing, right? You know, I'm a big Valentino Rossi dude. I don't want to say how much money. You guys know how much the freaking GPRR helmets are. They're fucking ridiculous, right? You could buy at least 2 KYT helmets for that one helmet. Same thing with the new Alpine Star helmet. My buddy's got one. Is it sick? Of course, it's a badass helmet. Is it $2,000 sick? Absolutely not, right? I'd rather spend that money on a full custom suit, not a helmet, when I can buy 2 KYTs at least for that amount of money. At least 2 KYTs, right? So, big shout out to KYT Helmets America. Big shout out to K-Tech Suspension USA. My buddy Birch, Kendall, and Dakari. Absolutely amazing human beings. If you're in North Carolina, look no further than Ready to Race RTR dealership out there. They're absolutely amazing. If you're in the state of Virginia like I am, look no further than Coleman Power Sports. They are, I think, 2.5 hours, 3 hours away from me, but they are absolutely the best dealership here in Virginia. So, if anybody out there ever want to do a track day at a MotoGP track, look no further than my buddy Mick Leo Escapes Track and Tour. Road Racing World. Big shout out to them. I need everybody to go to roadracingworld.com, sign up, donate to the air fence fund. It's imperative that we have those air fences. If we did not have air fences, corner marshal workers, and an ambulance, guess what? There's no track days, there's no racing events. So our air fences are absolutely, we need them. I don't care if you donate $1, $5, whatever you can do, please go there and donate. It keeps us racing. It keeps us safe. We need it. Thank you so much. And if you show up at a Moto America track, Chris Ulrich, the legend of M4 Suzuki, he does a 2-up ride. I forget what the minimum donation is, which, Chris, I need my 2-up ride. I really want to do a 2-up ride. I forget what the minimum donation is, but if he's offering that 2-up ride, you make the donation, you get to climb on the back of that GSXR 1000, and then you really get to see how deep you can.
I'd be terrified, but I'd do it.
Dude, I would do, Jack. I want to do it so bad, bro. I'd be screaming in my helmet, laughing. Like, it'd be the best roller coaster ride of your life. 100%. Big shout out to STG, Sports Bike Track Gear. Brian Van and Max Van, congratulations on your ride this year, Max, with M4 Suzuki. Absolutely amazing. I got a couple buddies on here that make graphics. You're not going to go wrong by ordering from any one of these. First one up is Gus Rodeo. You guys know who he is. He's a legend here in Moto America. He has his own graphic company called GRG Designs, which is absolutely amazing. REB Graphics, and of course, Drippin' Wet, my buddy Chris. So you guys need any graphics for a Grom, your race bike, your trailer, or your car, your scooter, whatever it is, look no further to any one of these threes. You're not going to go wrong by ordering from any of them. They're all absolutely amazing. All my friends out there in the UK, if you want to get some proper coaching done, you can get it by Mike the Spike Edwards, which is a 6-time BSB champion. He's an absolute legend. You guys can go to mikeedwards.net or v121pro.com, sign up, and get you some proper coaching. Big shout out to BTR, Build Train Race here in America. Man, that Royal Enfield program to me for all the women is absolutely amazing.
This weekend.
Dude, I love it, dude. I love all the girls, Scott, everybody that runs it. Man, it's such a beautiful thing to see. So I cannot wait to go and hang out with them all this year. Big shout out to my buddy Antley Terry at Racer 411 program out there at tippingracing.com. They have a membership program where you can save up to 40% of all your goodies and needs. So you guys go check that out. Um, Big shout out to California Superbike School out there in the UK. My buddy Israel has a thing where he takes his dog riding on motorcycles all around the world. He's a racer too, dude. Dude, it's absolutely amazing. He has one go to Moto Mutt International. It's absolutely it's awesome. I love it. I'm a huge dog lover anyway. Um, my buddy Cole King has a performance shop called King Performance. So anybody need any work done on their Harleys or Indians or Go Fast parts, look no further than him too. Big shout out to Turn 12. There's all my people out here in Virginia. They're a track marshals and all that. So big shout out to them. Again, it's very important that we have the track marshal crew, because if we didn't have them out there, guess what? We're not going racing or riding. So, and if anybody's interested ever to be a corner marshal worker, dude, hit me up. I'll point you in the right direction. Dude, you get the best seat in the house. Yeah, dude, it's awesome, right? Dude, you're literally right there, as close as you could ever going to get to a racetrack, unless you're on hot pit.
I was working even if turn 3 again, they had a whole crowd watching with me.
Bro, dude, how awesome is that, Jack? Well, what an experience. And again, you meet some of the most amazing people ever, doing that, which is absolutely amazing. So, and big shout out to my buddy Dave Houston out there in the UK. He has a YouTube channel called Obsession Engineering. He's a mechanic. He's an Isle of Man TT racer, BSB racer, dude. He's absolutely amazing. So you guys go check him out. And last but not least, big shout out to BTI Photos. Man, Jack, dude. I'm sitting here just running my mouth, giving all my friends a shout out. But listen, people, I do have a lot of friends in the industry. These are a lot of my friends. They have businesses in there. And another one too, real quick, is my buddy Ethan Chuplick. He's a if you guys need any recovery work done at the track, you got tight muscles, sore, whatever it is, hit him up. He's there. He gives you massages, all that good stuff there at the track. So big shout out to him too as well. He's actually at Barber this weekend. He works with a lot of top guys at Moto America and is always there. So if anybody out there needs any recovery work, look no further than him. So yeah, Jack, dude, listen, I've been blah, 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 blah. So it's your turn, right? You're going to end this podcast.
I got to thank you too. First of all, TPL Racing, Rod, Ron, and Jordan at TPL Racing have been helping me out pretty much since I started racing, especially when I started racing big bikes and doing the whole Town Cup thing. Then Emery Demolition, Putz Transfer, a local trucking company here. Then Wall Street, Putz Transfer has supported me since since I started doing the Talent Cup of 2022. Absolute one of my biggest sponsors. And then Wall Street Slice. I said it before, pizza's my favorite food. That's the best pizza in Winnipeg. Stefan at Wall Street Slice. They've been supporting me since the Talent Cup. Then KYT helmets, been wearing them since I've been wearing Bison suits. Awesome helmets. Then Bison since been riding with the Bison suits since 2022 with amazing leathers. They work well. They hold up well in the crash. They look cool. And just it's easy. I never realized until I started wearing a Bison suit how much better it is with a custom fitted suit. And then Importation Stevo. They're an aftermarket supplier that supplies parts to a lot of dealerships around Canada. And maybe in the States, I'm not sure. And then Capital Motorsports, they've helped me and a ton of other races around the area with getting parts. And then obviously Rob Oliva on the whole LM2 team to helping us out with Bridgestone tires. This is going to be my third year with 2025 is going to be my third year with Bridgestones. And the biggest advantage I have Bridgestones find is the consistency, because from new to completely worn, the grip is pretty much 100%. And then Hindle exhaust, building a high quality lightweight system. I've used them I had them on my 400, my R7 last year, my CBR 600 F3, and then we're doing a handle on this R7, R6 build. And Woodcraft for their clip-ons, rear sets, ignition deletes, and Vortex for sprockets and chains. Then obviously Break Free Track Time in Arizona for helping us out in the past, hoping to ride with them again in the future. And then Sun and Snow, who are supplying us for our Torco race fuel. Torco's some good race fuel. And Custom Cuts is a local business here. They made our decals for our bikes the last couple of years. And Euro Race Canada, they're the distributor in Canada for KYT helmets and O'Valleys. And then there's probably 10,000 others that I'm missing. But just as appreciated for each and every single one of you.
100%. You know, it's an absolute honor. You know, it's important. You know, my mom always told me it takes a village to raise a kid, but it takes a village to raise a racer too, right? And all the love and support you get, man. You are much loved and much supported, Jack. You have a bright future ahead of you. I cannot wait to see all these championships you're going to win. We're going to sit down many times on the podcast, have a lot of laughs. Are you going to bed, buddy?
Yeah.
All right. I love you. I'll come in there here in a few minutes. Again, dude, you have a bright future ahead of you. Dude, it's all up and up, man. You deserve where you are. And yeah, man. I can't wait to see you step on that top box and hold that championship trophy up.
Yeah, that's what it felt like last year.
I know, I know, man, and again, you know, your future is super bright, man. So, congratulations on all your achievements.
Absolutely, thank you.
You know,
thanks for having me on here.
The honor is all mine, buddy. Trust me, the honor is absolutely all mine. You, my friend, absolutely made my day. So, thank you for coming on here and telling your whole story and your journey. Can't wait to sit back down and do a part 2. So just stay on with me for a minute. As soon as I end this, go ahead and schedule our next one. Plus, I want to say hi to your dad too, because we was talking the other day. I said, after the podcast, come on, so I could physically see it and talk. So, yeah, listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute honor today to sit down with the legend Jack. How do I say your last name again, Jack? I don't know it again. Beaudry. There you go. I got it. Beaudry. It's like my buddy. I had Kyle Onsorg on. Man, I murdered his last name and I kept repeating it. And when I seen him at Daytona, I got it right. He's like, "You got it." I was like, "Yes, let's go." Just bad at pronouncing names sometimes. It's one of my flaws. I'm sorry, but
you ran into that breaker a couple times.
It's all good. I'll definitely nail it down. Trust me. But yeah, listen, Jack, the honor's all mine, man. I really appreciate you sitting down here for 2 hours and 12 minutes with me on this Thursday evening, man. It's been absolutely amazing. I hope the rest of your week is proper mega as you are, man. And man, I can't wait to sit down and have a part 2. So yeah, is there anything else you want to say before I end the podcast?
Not really a ton. Just
You're good, buddy. Well, listen, thank you guys and girls so much for tuning in and watching. I appreciate all the comments. Every single one of you is absolutely amazing. Again, without all of you
watching,
yes, dude, nothing but love to everybody. I don't know why my heart's not coming. It's probably because of my cast. It probably don't recognize, but usually when I do this, a bunch of hearts will come up. But anyway, you guys know I love y'all. But yeah, listen, it should. Are you on a it shouldn't matter if you're on a MacBook. It's StreamYard that does it.
It's not working with me.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, dude, I can get it to do balloons. Like, there's all kinds of cool gestures it'll do. I just ain't figured out how to work it. I kind of feel like an idiot up here doing all this stuff right here, right? But anyway, you guys know what I mean. I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
Stay on with me for a second, okay? Let me end this.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.